Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the second half of the EU Rocket League Spring Series Qualifier. That's a mouthful and a half to get through here on Rocket Kingdom TV. My name is Craftman, and we're back here on the stream, and I'm joined by the lovely Eternal J and Digital Bacon from the ever popular podcast, RL Aftershock.
God, I think that's become our
I had to get the plug in, but join us for On the Ball here on Rocket Kingdom TV. Jay, we are going to get into this first game in the we're now down into the lower bracket. We have our two teams from the upper bracket of Endpoint and the Clappers. We now begin our run in the lower bracket with Awkward Turtles versus 2 Monkey. Jay, we'll start with you. Take us through a couple of these teams. Awkward Turtles, a name that we might not know, but have a similar background to.
I mean, I know them because that's just how I roll.
Yeah.
Taz, McCain, and T.
Well, I'm saying is people
Taz
know. Yeah, people don't know the team name because they've changed it from Notorious Legion.
Oh no, yeah, that's basically. What
I mean, when they qualified for RORS, they were in the Awkward Turtles.
All right, okay. You proved your point.
Bad host.
Bad host.
But yeah, like these are players that if you've watched Rival Series in decent sort of form, then you'll know all about them. Taz and Mitane have been like together for a little bit of time, and obviously Tigray being the main other guy, I think, who's been a part of the Championship Series at certain points. Not quite always hit those Championship Series levels, but he's trying out with these guys, I think, over the last couple of weeks, and now competing here in the Spring Series. Hasn't been the most confident of brackets from them, unfortunately. I think they went out pretty early on, I think around round 2 or so. So they've already had a bit of a struggle to get to this point already. And moving forward for them, they have been on a bit of a tear, taking out every single team that they can, including the RJM squad from the last round. So they've already got some decent results to their name.
Very interesting as well, because we were meant to see RGM early on stream, but I think they played their game out. They lost to Monaco 3-0, and we saw how Monaco were performing. They weren't performing at their best earlier on, so this Awkward Turtles team, a very good one. But the Bacon, the unknown really in this game is the 2 Monkey squad. Not too many names that people will recognize straight away.
Yeah, definitely bubble scene players at their fullest. Boris, Cal, and Rise. Boris probably the one best note here from Cubicles last season. We're one of those teams that could have made it through to the RLRS, but unfortunately just not able to make it. They stuck together and then just completely crashed. They've got a new team forming each. You know, they're all split their ways, and Boris seems to have got the best bet here today with Rise and Cal.
Yeah, and you were talking about the run of Awkward Turtles through this bracket. 2 Monkey went down in the very first round. Who were they playing? They were playing Endpoint, who of course qualified through the uppers, and they've been on a little bit of a tear. some close games between them and their opponents. I mean, they just beat Los Hombres actually 3-0 before coming into this one. And we saw Los Hombres earlier on. They looked like a very strong team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even on paper, these guys are reputable in their own right. Nachital obviously being the main man that stands out for that Los Hombres side, so you would have expected that they would have made a decent dark horse run, but losing 3-0 to 2Monkey is not exactly what I was expecting to see today. So I honestly thought this would be Awkward Turtles versus Los Hombres. So to see what this 2Monkey squad will be able to do will be interesting to say the least here, Crafters, because as you say, they have been on a bit of a lower bracket underdog sort of run.
It's
and
hard
a bit of
to
a tear
talk
through
today.
those. Yeah, it has been. Anyways, but yeah, I'm curious to see what they'll do because, you know, I don't think the competition has been quite as strenuous for them. But again, they've got their own reputable results to it in tow.
Absolutely. But before we get into this one, we'll have some quick predictions. Bacon, we'll start with you. Who's taking this one? How many?
2Monkeys have been on a run today, but it's got to be Awkward Turtles. You know, you go with the true, tried and tested team. Tars and defense have been fantastic. And Tigre, I think he's got a lot of passion here today to try and like prove everyone wrong that he's still up to the challenge.
And Jay, what about yourself? Do you think it's going to be the underdog in 2Monkey, or do the rival series team get it done here?
I think Awkward Turtles have too much promise, to be honest. I just think that they're too good not to be in that position. So I feel like they're going to be the victors of this one. I'm going to give a little bit of credence to 2Monkey, but this is certainly their series to prove to me exactly what they can do.
Well, let's not hold you back any further. Let's get, as I hit my mic furiously, I'm just that excited to get into the game. Let's get it going. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much, Crafters. Yes, let's get into our game here. It's going to be a fun one, to say the least. Again, a bit of an unexpected sort of series from us all, so we'll see how well they can contend with it. Over in the orange side, it will be Awkward Turtles. In the blue side, it will be 2Monkey, and let's see how they will contend in game one of our best of 5 series here. Bacon?
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one that we're going to have to wait and just see how it develops. Because you got to think, you've got two new sides that are newly formed to each other here, Jay, and how they played together. They've had that time throughout today, but now they're really getting to that hit or miss moment where every little mistake is going to get picked up on.
Well, to this blue offensive, the orange half of the field will try and press up and find some sort of way in to the aggression. It's Cal with control, past one. Can he beat out Taz for the second? Not quite. That direct challenge head on from outside the box. Will leave Boris coming in from the ceiling to try to do his own best, but it's not going to happen. Getting it past Rise, leaving it all to Cal now in the back line, just barely getting that save, and his Tigre did register an official shot on target, a light one, and Taz going to follow suit as well to keep the pressure going in to that blue half of the field. The contention is certainly strong from the orange boys. They do keep things going for the most part here, just backboard and corner touches, but unable to score any major goals early on here. That being said, the passing plays to the post, but Cal still gets the defensive in.
Yeah, accuracy just missing them there. What a good setup from them, Jay. Like, you can see this is a team that has really continued with that methodical, thought-out play style that Notorious Legion was so good at setting. Again, you've got a little bit of an odd change-up. Of course, Cash gave them that sort of fire, the flare. But on the opposite end, they are all flare. They are all fire. They are arguably all ball chasers, but it gets the job done. It's aggression right here. Damn!
Well, the challenge from Boris certainly does work out. He's been one of these rising stars in the bubble scene for the longest time ever, so I'm kind of curious to see if this is the moment where he will rise to the challenge, to excuse the pun. Mitane, though, here with ball control to that backboard, and he's got something to say about that. Unsupported by his teammates, so the best they can do is challenge the midfield. Tigre's going to receive it and dribble it straight up towards that box. Mitane with a follow suit. Rise can still get it out of the way, but amazing discipline and ball control from the offensive half of the field as Rise sets up Cal to go in for a decent shot. Will be taken away by Mitane once again. Rice still has that midfield control, and Boris is there to support from the mid-center, but just passing that off to the left-hand side, finding a clear opportunity for his team.
Yeah, a great little control and defense. Keep yourselves together. It's going to be interesting to see how Cal tries to get that, and you can see that throw into middle, not convincing at all. So, going forward, when you look at Awkward Turtles, they're definitely a much more controlled team. They should definitely be the favorite, but whenever there is a crack, just the natural play style coming on out from 2Monkeys would just hammer home hard.
Keep going on for this one here is the Awkward Turtles. Have some level of control, but very quickly responded to by Cal here as he brings it into the Turtles' half from that corner, challenging on towards one. Barist will receive it as his teammate goes falling out into the demo. Set up perfectly for Cal as he tried to put that second in for the Monkeys side, but right out here, Rise got great ball control. Demo in from Tazzy, only has to beat Tigray, but that one would have gone too far wide anyway, so just disruption in control coming out of the orange half. In the midfield, Tigray up here off the backboard, challenged successfully by Rise. They're going to set Cal for a quick clear, and they've found a pretty decent answer to everything the Turtles are doing at the moment here. Like this, this Monkey side is actually doing a pretty good job of just controlling the ball and throwing the opposition off. You see the ball coming in against the box here. Taz just going to get beaten by Cal as we go 2-0 up.
Good control, a little bit dodgy with Rise coming on in there, but that block from Rise really recovered the entire play, and Cal just being able to chase up. Tars caught in net, not able to do anything, Jay. And you can see, like, it's a bit odd. When you look at Awkward Turtles, they're expecting a very traditional play style to come on out from their opponents, but the Monkeys, they're just throwing everything they can into attack. They're reacting very fast. Like, that is a trait that most players wish they had. And it's just working right now. As we go deep into the series, who knows? But so far, out of the gates, Monkey's doing a great job.
Doing so great a job that we're deep inside the opposition half. A return coming in from Taz, but we've seen this get cleared back so many times. Case in point, from the corner to Boris, and he carries it all the way to the orange corner all the same. Can't pick up that 100 boost in the corner. That's left to Tigray, but Demo still coming in. Will take out some of the defensive back line. Taz are going to have to control him past the opposition. Find Tigray in the midfield. Rise will again respond with a simple touch and taking it away from two on the left-hand side. Taken back by Taz into the midfield. Tigray trying to receive, but Cal's in some much better position. We'll be able to keep the offensive going. Rise back in. Baris can't find his chance for a shot, but he will continue to keep the pressure going because 40 seconds, they still have a 2-goal lead here. And for the Turtles, they're the ones that have to be doing the work here. Rise with a good shot off the post. Second touch should be received as there's no one there to defend.
Yeah, looking at the Turtles right now, way too predictable. And they're overly confident in their plays like that. Tars downfield wasn't in a great position to receive the ball. Interceptions could have come on in. They need to reform themselves, and I'd like to see more dribbles come on out from them, Jay. They want to keep the ball closer to them. These hits up into the air like this, yeah, Tars can get onto it, but it gives so much time to the Monkeys to be able to adjust themselves and get into position.
It's looking like game one will be a loss here for the Awkward Turtles early on. Taz, Matane gonna get Tigray out here to the corner. It's just control out from Rise. He stalls for the last 10 seconds. A good shot being registered by Matane, but it's a little bit too far wide. A nice angle to work with, but it will hit 0 on the timer, and there wasn't going to be any time anyway for them to recover this game. So game one will most definitely be going to the favor of 2 Monkey. Awkward Turtles challenged in an unexpected fashion here, Bacon, and by quite a significant margin as well. You know, 3-0 is not a scoreline to scoff at if you're the orange side.
No, and again, it just comes down to the Awkward Turtles, quite honestly, looking a little bit awkward. Everything they're trying to put together isn't really working for them. They're being read left, right, and center on this pitch, and then just they're too slow. They're living up to the turtle name, I guess. It's just a very odd combination, which just means this team that is harder to read because naturally it's almost like a throw together. It's a pickup team, realistically, over on the 2 Monkey side, where they're coming together for the Spring Series. 3 friends that just formed from 6-mans or what have you, and they're trying to see, like, if this works in the combination. And it does to some degree. Going further on into the tournament, we'll see. Will they be able to, you know, make that top 4? We've already got 2 teams confirmed through, so competition is super tough here. But so far, they're showing their reactions, and natural chemistry is good enough.
Cal just carrying this ball right out from the corner, setting up Rise for a shot. Point blank in front of the net. And Tigray did his best to save, but it was too much for them to handle off the kickoff. It will be an opener for the 2 Monkey side. And just 6 seconds are registered to the clock and everything. Like, it's been a confident start from these guys and something they can carry forward if the last game is anything to prove. Mateo has to go back down into the corner. Rise going to get this off the backboard, try and set up Cal in for a midfield shot. 2 players got to pinch that out to get it into a safe spot for the Awkward Turtles side, but they have to follow it up, and there's just not enough boost on that side. Retreating back to the midfield and even further back in some cases. Tigray going to come forward, go to the backboard, but no second player there to follow up on the shot. They will continue the pressure, but it's only Taz there with that ball into the center line. Matane will get it off the, the crease! Rise gets the save, and it's just held out by the Monkey side.
So clutch right there. But again, if you want those types of attacks to work, Orcaturtles, you've got to send a second man in close. You can see Taz sitting there in the midfield, not willing to risk it, not willing to get up in the air. And that is the thing they're lacking right now. You're not going to win a game by just being safe. Too slow.
That ball seeming to go off the crossbar. Cal passing to Rise. No one's in the net. He's going to flick, but does not go past Taz. Tigray now is control. Baris will challenge it. Mitane coming up. Cal's going to get bumped out the way, and that will be enough. Mitane finally going to score one back for the Turtles side.
And again, sending the man deep. Tigray lingering, focusing on Cal, gave an open net opportunity to Mitane, and that is so much better. Finally, they're accepting that they have got to diffuse their opponents. They've got to somehow disrupt them. They can't just allow their opponents to be running about the pitch because they will get overwhelmed. We've seen it.
The return fire coming in to try and continue the pressure out to that blue half, but it's all the same returned by the Monkey side. Matane and Tigray find their way out into the orange corner. Taz going to come out of the midfield, and Barist will push it in towards Cal's position. Miss from Matane. Cal's going to be allowed control underneath. Tigray gets it for Rise. Another setup for this man as the blue side go back up in the lead.
Past all 3 players, can we add as well. Awkward Turtles just getting absolutely played in that sequence. And it's coming down to just a few little misreads. Confidence, it seems to have really dropped off this team. They've got to pick themselves up. We know it's a best of 5, Jay. They're definitely not out of this. But in situations like that, where Taz is just hitting it straight on into Cal, what's he expect is going to be achieved there?
They'll continue pressure out as much as they can, but we can see Awkward Turtles desperately trying to cling on to some amount of control. Just touch out into the corner. Ryan's going to keep that in a dangerous position. Tigray does come forward, beat out Barist, but Cal's up the challenge and he wins that one successfully. 100 boost stolen from the back line, 2.5 minutes still to go. We have got 2 Monkey back with another offensive play. Rise are maintaining control. Barist will recover it for the moment. Mitane's going to get aggressive, bump one out of the way, but Tigray does not get his centered shot. It's over to the corner instead. As Rise and Barist will find their way out. Bump plays don't quite work out. Barist going to commit to that one. Cal gets underneath him with enough boost to challenge second going into the midfield. It's Rise's chance to shine. Bumped out by Mitane as Cal gets a demo in on Tigray. Throws off the offensive a little bit for the 2 Monkey side.
Does indeed, and so many questions being thrown out. We'll have to say at least 2 Monkeys are being pressured on their pace. Beforehand, they were just the natural faster team. Now, it's a lot more even on out, so that's why they've got a little bit less control over the ball, and they're having to throw it to sort of still try and outpace their opponents. It means less accuracy on it, but still, shot after shot is coming on in. Awkward Turtles are having to adapt on the fly, and the problem is they're still down a goal.
Sideboard bounce into the mid-center. Tigray takes it from the corner. Barist up. Tigray back in Taz. A great pass to receive, but 2 players committing on the defense there. Will leave Rise overall with control, and that works out better for the Monkey side, but still the striking coming in from Tigray. Rise going to tee it away from him and take it past his teammates as well. Going so far as almost to beat Taz in this case. 100 boost to get picked up the corner. Pass into Cal across the box, but he's caught in rotation, so no way for another goal for the Monkey side. Barry still booms to the backboard. Chance available for him. He wins out the challenge against Taz. And this team is getting dismantled on the Turtles side.
And it's all coming down to the Turtles. Boris there coming on in quite naturally. Taz too slow to get onto it. Tigray, of course, trusting his teammate, yes, but approached the net completely wrong. Should have come on in from the opposite side, making sure they had the net covered there instead of making sure to pick up small boost pads and then having to turn back on himself. Fundamentally right now, positioning from Awkward Turtles is all over the place. demos coming out right now from them is a good idea because it should be able to really dislodge 2 monkeys, but this is just no.
That ball was in front of the net for about 3 or 4 seconds. And the defensive barely held on for Awkward Turtles, but it is not good enough. 30 seconds, 2 goals down. They need to get something spooled up in the blue half, else they'll be out of the spring series here. Off the backboard, Tigray with a shot. Rise there with a 50-50, takes it away from him. Matane back onto the left-hand side of the net. And Cal will lose his boost to pick up. The Tigray comes in, Taz follows suit. Again, Rise gets his challenge and Barist is up in the air to receive it. Matane will pass out to no man's land. Cal will come forward. It will return by Tigray for the save, but not a quick enough shot to come in time. They'll try and carry it forward to the box, but it's not going to happen today. 2-0 now for 2 Monkey. And again, I am pretty surprised that the Awkward Turtles are having this much trouble against this team. I mean, maybe there was something behind this squad that I wasn't expecting. You know, I said this was the match to prove themselves to me personally, and certainly they're doing that right now.
Well, they've just not made the correct adaptations, Jay. If you're the Awkward Turtles right now, either you try and do what they've done, and that's play up to their opponent's speed. They've tried going in for the demos, but they've not been done correctly because their positioning afterwards is a little bit whack. And beforehand, that would have worked when they had Cash on the side, because Cash, just being a really strong solo player against his opponents, could be able to adapt and fill that gap. They don't have that right now. What they need to do instead could just be take it back into their own half, play super defensive, play really controlling on that ball, and then work out their opponents, use shadow plays and such. Right now, they're not thinking of doing that, and they're very flustered. They don't know what to do, and it just means that once again, 2 Monkeys are able to just literally run about them. This seems like no problem for them at all.
Yeah, no, and I mean, that's the key thing, right? It didn't look like a single problem was in that half of the field. Like, it felt like there was so much going the way of the 2 Monkey side, because it was just play after play after play going well, and challenge after challenge more specifically. I don't think I saw a single 50-51 when Awkward Turtles got into the offensive half, because it just felt like, well, they're getting out there, challenge quickly, finding their ways in, and returning so effectively from 2 Monkey. And I didn't expect to see that great return. Like, you know, like oftentimes when we see like a team that's very confidently ahead of one another in terms of like their position in World Rocket League, their ranking, whatever have you, you know, whatever you quantify as being a better team, you usually see a case where they have always control of the ball in the defense and they can return so quickly. That's exactly what we saw there from the 2 Monkey side.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be an interesting one to see if they can keep this up, because who knows? I've seen moments there where they did get a little bit overconfident. You know what I mean, Jay? Where they were just sending all 3 players downfield. Again, this could just be part of their all-out aggression charm, but it may work here. If they go forward into the tournament, some simple demos could really dismantle them if they're done correctly. And then, you know, you've got no one back in defense because you've just taken out the only man there. Boost control could also be a great option here, because you notice from the Monkeys where they're getting up in the air so quick. They're using a lot of boost to be able to do that. So by taking out and near enough trying to prioritize the midfield boost, they're going to have to rotate all the way back to their own half, and then it's going to take a lot longer to get through.
Probably would be worth controlling the midfield in general, because oftentimes you saw, like, you know, to go back on what you were mentioning with the aerial side of things, you obviously saw a pass in a challenge from Rise that went up to the midfield where Baris was ready to receive it, and he managed to get himself in with a decent clear. So, you know, like, things were looking pretty confident of their own right, and yeah, like it worked pretty effectively in that respect. So maybe midfield control might also be an opportunity there for that side. So we'll see how well it will go as we're ready to get back into the series and see whether Game 3 will end up being a difference here. Bacon, it does not look good for the Awkward Turtles, though. They have got to get a reverse sweep in.
Yeah, they do. They've really just got to come out of their shell and start snapping, because so far they have been withdrawn. They have got 4 minutes and 50 seconds left to try and take Game 3, and they've got to do the same in Game 4 and 5. They have really backed themselves into a corner here, Jay.
Once again, it's 2Monkey there with the start. A bump on Tigray almost opened up the backline. If the shot was a bit more accurate, there would have been a start already, much like the early goals we've seen in games 1 and 2. Tigray up for the shot, the bump comes in, and they return the favor for Awkward Turtles, first being scored to the orange board.
Bad clearance though from Boris. That is the biggest offense there. Don't get me wrong, you got the bump in net, yes, Jay, but really, that was a mistake from the defense over from the 2Monkey side. Boris, if he was able to take that wide, they would have been able to cover it. So yes, this does come part to some adaptations coming through from Awkward Turtles, but don't expect that to happen again. That was just a fluke mistake in defense, and I'm worried a little bit from maybe a bit of rejoicing confidence, maybe a little bit of overconfidence, but I like what Maintain's doing there, keeping it close.
And the midfield, once again, they're challenging for control. Rise goes up, beats 2. Second touch going to be missed out. It's still over to Cal. A very light ball, and Maintain just adjusts for it and gets it out the way. But for a good 3 seconds, there was no one in the defense to hold off against the oncoming Monkey onslaught. Rise from the corner. Faking out Taz. Cal comes up with a 50-50 challenge. That second touch off the backboard. Here comes Boris for a dunk down. Taken out towards that corner once again. Rai is just going to intercept this ball as it's returned over to the Monkey half and try and find those confident clears that we've seen from them so far so long. Look at Taz with his control on the offensive though, and they're starting to get things spooled up here. Awkward Turtles playing a lot more fast and loose, and it's working for the better.
It is definitely, that aggression has been picked up. They do have to be a little bit more careful though, because with their spacing, they're a little bit all over the place. Hits like that from Taz has just saved the day. But yeah, he's got to get that second hit, and now they're backed off into defense. They're waiting to see what their opponents do. Boris going straight down the middle though. Do not like that. He's just handed it on over. He's lucky more so that his opponents have done nothing with it.
What?
I am
That should have been
disgusted
cleared.
at this defense. Oh, sorry, lack of defense.
It should have been cleared off the crossbar. Cal not even in position to get a double touch in. He still found it inside the box, and no one was there to respond to it. Taz, however, in off the back of the kickoff alongside Maintain inside the blue box, trying their best to recover the situation. The lead that they had early on has disappeared, and now 2Monkey will start to get their own drums sounding. Cal out of the right-hand side of the midfield line, coming in with a aerial receive against Tigray. Maintain challenging on towards one. Tigray in for a shot, and Rice just gets that out there. Using the crossbar as a rebound, it works better for them as they keep it away, and you compare that to the crossbar shots coming in of the other half, and you can see the difference in the defensive lines.
Yeah, Tigray's really picked up his predictions here though. Notice how he's getting those shots put on target. He's lingering about, making adjustments to be able to follow up on quickly. Double demo coming out there as well between Boris and Tigray. You don't see those too often. But this is the crucial point of the game when you've got everything being blown on up over in the Awkward Turtles half. They're being able to control it. Again, slow it down, but that is not a pretty 50-50.
How do you... How is that on target?
So one of the rules of Rocket League is when you're defending the ball, you don't defend on the side of your net because those 50-50s can come on out. You see it all the time towards the wall, you know, when players are trying to cut on Injay, and they've just been punished right there. It's one of those moments you just forget, and glad Maintain didn't forget about going for the ball there.
It's 2-1 up for the Monkey side, and things are not looking good for the Awkward Turtles. Nice way to get us back on track for the schedule if they can keep this up, but for now, Rice setting up Baris. Great pass received. Second touch can be missed out for Cal. Instead, he tries to beat Maintain by taking that ball a bit slower, but it does not work out for him. Rice coming in to support it out of the corner. Baris comes up to push this to closer to the center. Maintain comes in, gets up Tigray. Taz going to also chase downfield as Cal and Rise look for their exits to the orange half, but it is denied again by Tigray and Co. Backboard play, trying to bump out Cal and Co. Good shot, they're going to go a bit too far wide, miss out from Baris, but it doesn't matter because Maintain is nowhere near the net for the shot.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit worried right now, Jay. Awkward Turtles are playing a hit and hope strategy. They're just trying to keep this pace going, beat their opponents through manners of speed, and they lack the accuracy right now.
Baris up to the backboard, taken away by Tigray. As Rise comes up and over. Can't get that 100 boost. Is stolen again by the Awkward Turtles, doing a bit more to try and control that boost, but it has not been enough so far. 33 seconds to the clock. Rise teeing this one inside the box. Mitane going to get this over to Tigray, and Boris is there to deny it. Second challenge from his teammate will not be successful, but he's still lurking in that midfield, looking for his touch in for a shot. It doesn't happen. Rise comes up to chase. Boris there to support. Takes it high off the backboard. Mitane comes in with a quick denial. Boris back into the center. But all this pressure being applied by the Monkey side leaves us at 10 seconds. And a third goal to seal the deal, I imagine. Awkward Turtles maybe conceding this series at 3-0.
I think so as well. For me, that is the final nail in the coffin. 2 kickoff goals. Wouldn't want to be put in the Awkward Turtles situation right now. But you got to think, 2 Monkeys coming into today. Don't really know what their expectations were, but they're having a whale of a time.
Well, Boris will lead the charge for his teammates. Top of the board for him in game 3 and top of the series for 2 Monkey. And I'm a little bit stunned, honestly. Like, I saw the potential in this side. I did not think they'd go so far as to dismantle the Awkward Turtles, let alone do it in such confident 3-0 fashion. Like, that was an incredibly played, well-read series from the blue half. And you got to give credit where it's due, mate. That's a whole lot of credit to be given by these guys. You know what I mean? They had a really, really good match.
2 Monkey played phenomenally. They were put into a situation against a team that was very well structured. So they're playing a very odd style compared to them, where, like I said, it was just all reactionary. Not necessarily hit and hope, but more just, you know, you go for demos. And then when your opponents start to expect you're going for demos, you just leave them. So continuously there, Awkward Turtles were having to question themselves about what their opponent was going to do, and they could just never figure them on out. And the opposite end, because of that, Awkward Turtles just couldn't even think of their own game plan. They're just continuously trying to think about their opponent. It's got way too into their own head. And unfortunately, due to it, they're out. That's it. They're done. 2 Monkeys move
Pretty much. We're going to have to move on, I guess. But before we do that, we're going to have to bring Craftman back into the fold. Mates.
Oh boy!
You asked us before. You asked us before the series which way it would go, and I don't think any of us expected it to go quite like this.
No, I don't think many people were. I mean, what the question I wrote down at the start of the series that I wanted to answer by the end of it was: is dropping Cash the right or the wrong move? I think we've answered that question. Mainly because of Cash's performance earlier on stream. He was performing very well in Monaco. It's just the rest of his team weren't stepping up to the plate. That's why Monaco were down in the lower bracket. They're going to be taking on Oxygen Esports actually over in the Rocket Baguette stream in a few moments' time, because Oxygen Esports have taken out Girls 3-0. So scrubs out of this tournament. But yeah, just coming back to Awkward Turtles for a second. As a team who performed very, very well in the rival series and pretty much cemented their place in next season, that's not the greatest showing for them. That is in having Tigray, if Tigray is going to be the new third for the old NLE roster.
He's not a good fit.
It's really not a good fit. And Bacon, I think you said it best during the cast. You were saying it's just a lack of communication and just no defense whatsoever. Are they trying to be too aggressive, do you think?
Well, no, the problem just is they haven't got their rotations fit on in. So naturally, just the way that Mitane and Tars have always played is that they want to be the more defensive players. They need someone like, and this is why Cash worked well previously, was someone that can take the time to just go on those solo runs, create an opportunity out of nowhere, get super aggressive on that. It allows them to recollect themselves and allows them to, focus on that defense and regain the boost, regain control of their own half of the pitch so that they can then claim those midfield boost tanks, whilst in the past, Cash was just down on his opponent's end with the ball doing whatever the heck he wanted. And that's when they built up from there. Here, where Tigray is a little bit more of the same, it was like 3 of the same players on the pitch where they just want to hold midfield, move up into attack, move back into defense, but they're doing it very uncoordinated. It just did not work there. So going forward, I personally think that Tigray is not a good fit for this team. They need that sort of, and definitely due to the meta of Rocket League, they need that sort of 1v1 god like that we're seeing as a very crucial role at the moment, aren't we?
Indeed, and I mean, we don't take stats too serious, or too literally, rather. But the numbers don't lie. When you look at Tigray in the last season of RLCS, worst performer on his team in goals per game, not an assist per game. That goes to extra at 0.11. And he had 1.78 saves per game. So the rotation, the signs were there coming off of Monaco last season that Tigray might not be the best fit, but he's in here, and now they're out of this out of the spring series. So unfortunate for them, but moving on is going to be to Monkey, and of course moving on will be us as well. After this short break, we will be seeing a team who stood out in the rival series, promoted to the championship series. It is Team BDS. They're going to be taking on Stormtroopers after this short break. Welcome back to the Spring Series Qualifier here on Rocket Kingdom TV. We are making our way through the lower bracket of the tournament today, and we have our second game of the second half of the stream. It is going to be Team BDS taking on Stormtroopers. Now, Jay, BDS, what a standout team from the last series of Rival Series. Now they're in the RLCS, they can do some damage. Can they get through to the main Spring Series here? That is the question right now.
Oh, mate, it would just be another great step on the road that has been the story of BDS, or ARG as they were known back when they formed a little over a year ago now for the Renegade Cup. And, like, you know, the core two of that team has just stuck together all this time. And we kind of thought that the run of that team was coming to an end come this sort of a rival series. But no, BDS picked them up. It felt like they were rejuvenated, and they came through, as you mentioned before the break. They went to a whole promotion spot. And, like, they are the essence of what a Spanish bubble team is, essentially. And they've been able to just bring success after success as time has gone on. They went for a bit of a slump, sure, but right now they're on top of their game at the moment.
They are indeed, and Monkey Moon especially, he was the standout player on that team last season, getting 1.15 goals per game, and they haven't lost in major competition since March the 2nd, so almost 2 months of complete competition without going down. Can this team get it done, Bacon?
Definitely, I think they can. The problem is that both these sides, like definitely Stormtroopers there, I think are the wild card team throughout this tournament. Yeah. Like you've got apparently Jack there and Dead Monster, I think are at two insane players. You got Polar, who, you know, coming off of the Renegade Cups last year, went a little bit quiet, but just throughout the scene was causing a little bit damage behind, you know, the curtains and that. Coming up against BDS, where BDS, I always find when they go up against teams that they just don't have any like expectations for, they can struggle a little bit.
Yeah, and we certainly saw that against with Awkward Turtles against 2 Monkey just a second ago. But we are getting into the game. The players are ready to go. Jay and Bacon, take it away.
Thanks, Crafters. Yes, this is going to be a hell of a one for my liking. I mean, these guys are, you know, some of Rival Series best versus some of potential Bubble Scene's best as well, depending on how you look at things. Certainly a lot of potential in the server. Let's see how they will be able to cope, as BDS will be in orange and Stormtroopers are out in the blue side of the field. It's Monkey and Mark by 8 trying to get themselves over to the blue corner to get things started. The demos are already out of the aggressive style, but Polar and Co have a pretty decent defensive lot. It's back and forth coming in from both teams of the offensives. Mark by 18, this one inside the box, but Dead and apparently Jack. Polar with a redirect. Oh! This would be play of the day, but no! Off the and back to an open net. What a start from BDS!
Ladies and gentlemen, we have got a fun game on our hands right here. Have to credit as well that cheeky little redirect. Absolutely love it.
Honestly, you know Bacon loves something so much when he goes northern to explain it. It's ridiculous. But what a start, and that might just set the pace for this series here. It's only game 1. The returns off to the backboard. Apparently Jack's got a bit of control, beating out 1, but not past 2. Monkey got a redirect onto another open net, and that will be BDS following suit with a second.
Gives a little follow-up there. Monkey has just claimed his sort of like fame from pulling off these quick follow-up plays, where he gets these 50-50s and then can just adjust himself very slightly using his boost in the air to get the perfect follow-up touch. It's a skill that many players wish they had. Very, very dodgy in that moment. But 2-0 from BDS right now, Jay, you can definitely feel that Stormtroopers are ready to start hitting hard because they need to get some goals to their own.
And BDS has just been hammering them into the dirt, so now it'll be a great start for Stormtroopers if they can find their way in. They have got themselves a bit of a passing play out again from the midfield line. The accuracy hasn't been 100% on point, but bumps out Dead Monster into the corner. Monkey Moon gonna take his lack of boost, and Jack will make his way into the backboard. As Mark tees it away, pass in to the mid-center. See by a couple of players coming in, the offensive pressure is certainly going to kick up. Is that on? Oh my god, it's on!
Yeah.
What happened there?
I have no clue whatsoever. Clearx naturally coming on out, thought that was safe. and then just couldn't get back in time. Caught off guard, miscalculation and misread of the situation, and Polar going to be grinning ear to ear here, Jay.
That's a start for the Stormtroopers side. The bumps coming in continuously as well as they're starting to find their line of form. Big miss from Clayx as Polar goes backboard. Monkey can't connect either. Dead Monster on, and if Clayx was not there to get that save, that would have been even standings between these two teams here. But it's returned to the blue corner. Dead off the sideboard. Monkey, it's good control against Polar, but Polar still gets his touch in, and apparently Jack will find his way up over to the backboard of the orange half and try and see if he can follow suit. Still the boost from the back line there. He's picked up all the small pads and both of the big pads there. Still the pass is received, marked by it onto the crossbar. A little bit too high for him, couldn't get the double touch either.
Yeah, and this height that is being brought on out from the Stormtroopers is fantastic to see right now, where they're trying to get control of the ball, slow it on down. It means they should be able to get pitch control. Demos like that from Polar as well are quite interesting. They've given it on over. Unfortunately, they're just to a little miscalculation in their rotations. But you can see Stormtroopers are actually starting to play a very intelligent game.
Oh, we've got a stop call.
Yeah,
we've got a stop
with a DC.
Yep, they are not going to play out the rest of this game for the moment. I believe we may have to set some modifiers in, and Monkey just having a bit of a weird moment here. Not the best of ideal times to have this bacon. I'm not sure what the rules state on the particulars of how we deal with these kind of tech issues. Obviously, we don't have the permissions to pause the game like we do in RLCS, but you know, they're not going to play it out at the moment here, Bacon. It's just a quick technical issue, and we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah, just waiting for a response from the admins right now. And at least you're seeing some dribble skills coming out on our screens. Unfortunately, you guys at home can't see that, but there's also the fact that there's good sportsmanship going on here, because as soon as the call was made, everyone just stopped instead of trying to make the most out of the scenario, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, and you've got to love that, obviously. You know, a very quick and a responsive sort of a moment there from the teams, and you know, obviously just to have this moment just to a bit of a respite, I guess you could say. It does allow us to delve a little bit deeper into some of these players and teams, obviously, as we try and get the game set back up to its position as it was here. You know, we've seen a little bit of potential from both sides. You know, again, just the quick returns, the great coordination there from BDS, but a lot of the skill and placement there from the Stormtroopers side, which really showed the show what we're talking about with the potential of these guys. You know, they are bubble scene dark horses, and I mean, if that opening goal had gone the way that it was, it would have been a serious shock to the system, I feel like.
It definitely would have, and this is why we love these open bracket tournaments like this, because the best of the EU bubble can really come on through. When you already know of, you know, Notorious Legion now, and you bring on teams like BDS coming on through, and it does show that sometimes that the RORS level is not so high as you think it is. Like, there is a whole wealth of teams below that are able to compete, and it's just exciting to see them come out in droves here.
So we are just getting our admins in to sort of fix the issue at hand and try to see if they can sort out the scoreline here. So we shouldn't be too much longer with this particular tech pause, as was been the official sort of ruling, and just reloading the backup from 1 minute and 53 seconds is when the kickoff started. So we'll jump in and see how well they contend with this one, Bacon. It certainly has been a very interesting sort of moment, I feel like, but still 2-1 on the board. BDS still in the lead, but with the way that the Stormtroopers are playing off here, we've got a question: have we got any potential on the other side of the field? So
it's going to be an interesting one. I don't want to call it too soon, Jay, because you look at this and it comes down to BDS have naturally, from what we've seen in the past, got a good chance of adapting to their opponents so far this season anyway. They'll drop one game maybe, but then they'll be able to turn it on around. It comes down to Stormtroopers being able to keep on pulling out tricks against this opponent, keep on bringing out, you know, solo dribbles and then going for a great team play. So if they can keep up to that and just keep BDS on their toes, they could get the win here. The problem is that is so mentally taxing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when you have that much pressure, and you saw some of the tactics they were bringing to the fold when it came to sort of realizing that pressure. Like, you know, apparently Jack, for example, coming in from the left-hand side to the right-hand side of the field, stealing all those boosts in the back line, both the big and small pads. And you know, when you relieve that level of that level of resource, I feel like you have some very bad sort of times on the BDS defense. You know, eventually they will run out of boost, they will run out of backboard potential, and if you can keep the pressure going for long enough to get one of those setups in, then then you will be in with a goal. I just feel like the one thing that need to change in that part is just get back up a little bit more, because one of the things I've noticed about this team is that they have one player pushing very far forward, the other two are staying back. So like, almost feels like the rotations are coming in the wrong sort of way.
Well, it's coming down to, you got three lads here who can be brilliant attackers. Apparently Jack is your less aggressive out of the players, just naturally by going for the ball. He wants to take full control of the pitch. That's why, like you said, he's going for those boosts, trying to get those demos in, whereas Polar and Dead Monster are fantastic strikers. But because of that lack of defensive capabilities, like on a mechanical level as players, that's why they're sort of tending to keep two players on back and just trying to focus. It's going for a more safer system, which I think is okay to start out the series on. But as we go on forward, they're going to really have to just leave one man back and really focus on those double team plays, like those quick passing plays. 1-2-1s, working the ball down midfield, as well as going far off the wall, you know, try and get those balls centered, because they cannot just do it on their own. You've seen how quick BDS are. Their jumps across the net might look clutch, but it's all planned, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely it is. You know, you if you could get a good read on those plans, that could be an opportunity open out for you. For the most part, however, you have to force the mistakes out on that side of the field. So, you know, again, some opportunities spawning up for this squad, and we'll see whether or not they can keep it going into the rest of the matchup. As I'm seeing right here, Monkey Moon seems like he's resolved his problem, so we can just go for it here. Let's play out the rest of our game here at Bacon. 2-1 on the board, a minute and 53 to the clock here in just game one of our series. It has been an absolutely boomer, so let's go for it here.
Yep, the players are getting ready to hop back on into the server. We're just waiting for the admin to let it go, and just tell them that we're all ready. I love that as well. Polar is saying if one of the BDS guys drop again, they'll just go 2v2. They're not going to use a 3 versus 2 man advantage. That right there is just wholesomeness at its finest in Rocket League.
And hopefully that wholesomeness will keep its own up for its own right here. We are just about ready to go here for our matchup. Let's resume it 2-1 on the board as Polar and Mark Baye go for their kickoff advantages. It goes over to the orange half of the field first. They got Monkey Moon in with a great dribble play, but up against Dead Monster, he'll only go so far with it. Good challenges, actually, getting it past both of the defensive lines, but just enough of a touch in from Mark Baye to keep it away from contention. Monkey off the corner. Dead Monster back into the box, taken away by Clayx. Apparently Jack coming in again off the backboard in towards the third man. No, Mark denied all the way to the other end of the field, and a second touch from Polar will keep it away from the net.
Yeah, Polar doing great there on the 50-50, reading it and putting it into open space. Really allowed his teammates time to get back, get some boost, and now get back into rotation. But that link up with Mark Baye, beautiful to get the ball transition downfield.
The ball will return over to the orange half of the field. 60 seconds to the clock, and midfield control needs to be established here by the Stormtroopers. BDS off the backboard in the corner. Demo in from Clayx. Apparently Jack missing out against Mark Baye a little bit too far back, and BDS get the control.
That demo as well from Clayx there just really threw everything out of whack. He would have just been able to turn back on himself and get into net. And apparently, Jack, you just got to feel sorry for him, because that was the smallest of margins, Joe.
Absolutely, it was. Like, you know, another foot forward, and he probably would have got that challenge in and kept it away. Responses out here from the offense almost allows Jack to recover from his mistakes, though. Going straight in with a decent shot. Denied by the defensive of the BDS side, and it looks like it will remain that way for a 3-1 game here. And again, impressive start from Stormtroopers, with BDS just having that one up above them here. Oh, what a challenge from Mark! Did he use his teammate to rebound that?
Impressive. Look at that.
Oh my god, that's awesome. That is just awesome.
In what world do you think of that, Jay, in the moment? And like, if that is not just a happy little accident, that is a 200 IQ play, you know? Good little responses, but I don't think that's going to help them right now. Stormtroopers got to get 2 more in 20 seconds.
Well, that's the problem right here, the way that the cards have fallen and have left them in this awkward angle with only a handful on the clock. BDS still 2 in, and as you say, 20 seconds to get both those goals in. A kickoff would give them a little bit of breathing room to hold them off in the 0-second time. The mark goes up. It's going to be Dead Monster that maintains control above Monkey Moon potentially. Could back pass into Jack, but Monkey gets himself in with the defense. Polar coming out, passing out to the center line. That sets up Monkey for an easy goal. And nothing the Dead Monster could do about that. That reinstates the 3-goal lead and confirms game 1 for BDS.
Yeah, and again, you see the quick reactions of these teams. Monkey Moon just being able to belt that towards the net. 5-2, probably going to be our final standing there, Jay. But Stormtroopers, like, if they can get back up to pace, you know, it feels like momentum is key for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is. And the momentum right there for the BDS side is going to be big, of course, to get them into contention. I mean, you know, the Stormtroopers did have a good start, again, as you mentioned, but like it just felt like the BDS, their team play was better than what Stormtroopers brought to the fold, you know? And I think that's probably one of the chemistry issues you kind of need to focus on if you're a bubble scene team, because obviously this team is kind of comprised of some players that have sort of gone their own separate ways from their own respective sides and are now forming up for the spring series. And as a result of that, you can't expect the team play to always be there for them. But considering what they've shown so far, Bacon, I could see a few opportunities opening up.
Yeah, and this is one where you look at Stormtroopers, like, if they make it through to the spring series, they're only going to be better, and that is delectable. But the problem is they've got a lot of games here in the lower bracket to play through, and they're all going to be super tough opponents. Like, you're literally looking at RLRS and RLCS teams left in this, so they're sort of the last of the few bubbles, and can they prevent themselves from bursting? Game 2 on our screens.
That's Polar to the corner, jacking with a shot, and 7 seconds in, Stormtroopers will once again lay the foundations for the potential of the game.
So Polar there got the slightest of touches to block that out, put it into the corner, and perfectly lined up for apparently Jack. Otherwise, that would have just gone straight over his head and moved it down towards the wall. That is how minuscule the difference between these two teams are right now to get a win.
You can see the continuous pressure that is applied off the back of that. Apparently Jack going in off the backboard, and Clayx is just going to try and take it away. Dead Monster still goes in towards the box, just denied by Monkey Moon. The bumps out from the midfield line, might leave it to Mark by 8 alone. Jack gets his challenge in, Monkey back on. Oh, what a redirect! You thought you had them out, you thought wrong.
Look at this quick reaction there. How'd you get that fast into the air? Fast takeoff is what beats out the opponent, and well, Stormtroopers have no hope in heck to be able to get back into defense. That is just reactions at its finest.
On the corner, Monkey Moon will already get the kickoff going to keep the pressure going for BDS, and you know how they've been able to crack under that pressure is what's led to some of the Stormtroopers' defensive lackings. Polar goes into that corner, it's marked by 8. Again with control. Dead Monster will fall back, it's over to Monkey Moon next to take the center of the offense, but not enough control to allow Cleggs for a shot. Dead Monster will return to the orange half, actually get a shot that's registered. Apparently Jack also 50 out by Clay. 100 boost can get recovered as the ball goes in off the backboard. Polar sets it up. Monkey has a boost control. An aerial dribble up against his teammate, and Mark gets another good shot in for the BDS side. Followed up back towards Clayx. Oh, off the post this time. And a good effort from BDS wasted by the secret 4th player of Stormtroopers.
Yeah, well worked there. Monkey as well was a little bit worried because he wasn't able to get the boost, but they've got back into defense safely. Clayx trying to play a little bit of disruption there. Cannot blame them. The boost still coming out by Mark by 8. So definitely this is a nuisance game. We always see it from BDS where it's all about limiting what your opponent can do and wear them down to the point they make a mistake.
Or just force the mistake out with the demo. That also works. Mark onto Polar, the only man in the net. The Monkey coming back off the Clayx setup to the crossbar. BDS play 2-1 lead now on this orange half of the field. 3 minutes to go to the clock. Dead Monster starts things off against Monkey Moon, and Jack will come forward. No boost left for him. It's actually Dead Monster that sets it up. Maybe setting up a shot coming in for Polar. Swings in at the midfield. All three players committing to that offensive, but just pushed out by the defensive once again at BDS. They've got a good read on what Stormtroopers are going to do. They're countering it so well. Look at Monkey with this dribble. It's just denied by Polar, though.
And Monkey, so cheeky there. Just leaving the ball in the air. Uses a little bit of boost. Oh, no. Jack's got a big shot there, but the Polar not quick enough. And Dead Monster was naturally going back in defense. He did well to turn onto it. Put that little bit of risk, but he saw they get there first, and you can just see his minuscule margins right now. Polar with a hit there. Good choice to set that off the backboard. They need to gain ground first. They cannot allow, you know, control to hand on over to BDS. Stormtroopers have to take that control, because as soon as they lose it, that's when the demos come out, Jay. That's when the bumps come on out, and that is when BDS really strike.
It's just so frustrating to watch, because these setups and plays from Stormtroopers look so good till the very last hurdle where BDS denies the play. Mark by 8 with another bump in. And that allows Monkey Moon to score. 3-1 on the board. BDS 2 goals up.
You know what, Jay? I've got a name for BDS's playstyle, and it's called bullying. Because so far, all they're doing is just beating their opponents up, and it's just not right. This isn't a boxing match, this is Rocket League.
I mean, I'm sure that in regular football, if you were to punch a player out, then that probably would do a decent job of helping out your teammates.
Yeah, but you get a red card. Where's the red cards in Rocket League, you know?
No fun addition by Digital Bacon. Ball up for Polar here. So they go to the backboard of the orange half. BDX will try and press up, and it's just not quite going to work out for them. Clayx will continue coming up inside the box as Jack moves in over to the corner, going to try and follow suit in against Monkey Moon. He's got all the control he needs, and has teammates as well in the net to back it all up. I mean, they can always just hold the defense back from here and park the bus. Just 2 goals up in a minute and 10. I mean, they tried to do this on the Stormtroopers side. They weren't quite able to make it happen here. With the final 60 seconds, the pressure will start to mount for the Stormtroopers side, because they'll be 2-0 down in this series, as well as another great demo from Clayx. How many more are they going to allow to come in from the blue net?
The problem is that it's not a case of allowing. They've got no choice, these demos, Jay. How do you stop that? Because even if you jump out the way of the demo, you're still moved from there, aren't you? So it's all about just making sure that these defensives stack up slightly differently. They've got to try and stop these interceptions in midfield, so it's all going to be about keeping close to ground right now. Trying to keep the ball close to your chest and moving towards more 50-50s. Oh, if only that connected.
Oh, just, again, it's what I'm talking about then. The setup from Polar could have been a beautiful pass into the box, but just a miss there from, I think it was Jack there taking the shot. Just waste the most beautiful opportunity. Dead Monster going to try and reciprocate here off the backboard as Jack passes back towards Polar. Miss him coming into the corner. Jack going to miss out against Clayx all the same. He's got control. Dead Monster has a tee away, but Monkey Moon has plenty of control. Back to Clayx, back to Mark by 8, over to Monkey. The final shot. What a beautiful play from BDS, but I was expecting nothing less.
A little bit of tiki-tack in Rocket League. I'll take it any day. Passing for days. Love it. When we talk about Spanish-style Rocket League, Jay, this is what we mean. Literally keeping it so close to yourself, so fast, whipping it between the cars. For me, that is perfection.
2-0 for BDS. It does look like perfection. I won't lie to you, Bacon. And I just don't know what you do if you're Stormtroopers, because again they've so much potential. Again, so many great plays being set up, but it's just denied at the last hurdle. And it's that last hurdle they need to get past it. Like, what do you have to do against BDS to stop them from getting these offensive plays and shutting them down?
For me, right now, I'm looking at it and I'm just going, you've got to remove the players. You've got to demo them, because with BDS, it feels like they're swarming, doesn't it? It's almost like they're being smothered, Stormtroopers. So you've got to remove that aggressive capability. Try in the midfield. On your retreats back is the last man that's coming on in towards net. Try and go for a demo. Don't matter who, just remove it. Because notice in all their attacks, BDS tend to use all 3 players to formulate it. Whether it's 2 players going for the passing play, and then that first man will go on in for the demo bump. That third man will then approach on in and take the shot. So if you've removed that third man, the one that's going to take that final shot, which gets the goal, they're not going to be able to shoot, are they? They're going to have to change up, hold on to the ball. It might not get rid of control, but it could stem the bleeding enough to create an opportunity, a glimmer of some option for their opponent, Stormtroopers, to find a way to beat them on out. But right now, BDS are dominating.
On the kickoff already into the corner setup. You see Mark and Monkey trading places as Monkey holds the position, sets up Mark, bumping against Polar's missed, so this time they're not going to be allowed a decent shot. Klayak still goes in a little bit lower the crossbar. Jack has got to get that save, and Dead Monster will leave that for Polar for the overall clear. Bounce out to the center line. It's taken back by BDS as Klayak goes up from the corner, flick in the ceiling position. Mark by 8 comes in with very little boost and still challenging against Jack. It's going to be a clear away from the defensive as the backline has been much more heavily tightened, I feel like, for the Stormtroopers side.
It has, but that right there is a little bit dodgy because they're giving ground on it over to BDS. Notice them all up on the same side. So width right now for Stormtroopers could be an option, but they've got to get some real powerful hits. We're talking like close to pinches with the wall to get that ball moving out wide, because they can't keep it running down the lines. They can't keep it on the same side because they're throwing to everyone there.
Here comes Dead Monster in with a chance. Mark by 8 still blocks it. Apparently Jack puts it back over to his teammates in the center line. Mark by 8 with an overall brilliant shot. And Polar can take it away. Klayak's back on. Double commit on the defense. Leaves Mark by 8 in with more setup. Dead Monster with a clear. The Monkey's back far enough that he can get the save in. So wraparound rotation coming out from the BDS squad as they fall away. Polar will set it up towards Dead Monster. Good play in against Mark by 8 over to the box. It's a double commit on the defense. It doesn't look a bit awkward, but they still get the save in and disallow any further pressure to come through for them. The center line and the corner. Mark by 8 dribbles that ball away, sets it up for Polar though. Again off the backboard, Clay's beaten. There's a demo, there's the third man. Finally, something going right for Stormtroopers.
And notice, after that demo, how much dead air there was. Look. There is an answer right there. There is a glimmer of hope, Jay. And it all comes down to BDS having so much damn trust in each other. Like, that's a great thing to have, but it also means they're not covering each other quite perfectly.
Well, finally a mistake being forced and a bit of a leaf out of the BDS book being taken by the Stormtroopers side. Polar is marked by 8 as he tees this up and over. Apparently Jack can take it away off the backboard. It's Klayax and Monkey looking for their way in, and Mark could not get his bump in against Dead Monster this time. Jack gets the 100 boost off the corner. Dead Monster feeds it up towards him. Jack still chasing. Maybe he didn't get the 100 boost actually. Either way, Dead Monster will come forward and put that ball inside the box. Set up for Mark by 8 here. He beats one, but doesn't bump the second. Good effort against Jack though. The pass down the center goes right onto an open net. Is that going to be it? It is going to be it. Stormtroopers, for the first time, I believe, 2-0 up against BDS.
And I've got no clue where this came from. No one was rotating on back. I think there could have been a miss in a boost, or, you know, naturally you're going for your opponent's boost steal because that's part of your rotation. It's not there, so you're having to get back on with the 100. I can't see that, unfortunately, in the quick little goal cam. What a stop there. What a dime. But interesting that you're seeing some little cracks form from BDSJ. And it's not because they've changed up the play style coming into this game, like, you know, they've just let off the gas a little bit. No, instead it's just coming through from a couple of openings created by the lads of Stormtroopers.
Those openings have been fruitful though. Meanwhile, we're still scoreless on the BDS side. A couple of decent challenges. Apparently Jack got 40 points of boost, pinching in against Monkey. Klayax will take this out from the corner, and Dead Monster will challenge past him inside that box. Good challenge from the next man. Demo in from another, pass out towards Jack, and he just hits it left-hand side of the post. And the net is not allowed to be scored against this time. It's returned back to that blue half as Dead Monster sets up Polar. Jack will chase downfield again, trying to be the head of the offensive, but Clayx will beat him and now look to try and beat Polar, and Dead Monster has back up to his right-hand side. Jack gets a demo, and Dead Monster will try challenge marked by 8, but apparently Jack respawning in to find his way out from the corner as Monkey setting up Clayx for a return shot, right-hand side of the net, pushed even further out by Dead Monster.
The problem right now is BDS is starting to boost still, Jay. They're locking their opponents on in. Good return from Dead Monster to linger about in the midfield instead of going to net. Otherwise, that could have been disastrous. Jack can't get it. Unluckers, mate.
Yeah, all players baited to the left-hand side. A demo in on the most capable rotator left Jack with no boost. Well, not enough boost, I should say. And 45 seconds for BDS to return to evens here against the Stormtroopers side. We're seeing Jack with a very good challenge off the kickoff. Dead Monster will not be able to get to position in time. Just return back immediately from the orange backboard to the blue net. And Polar up against Clayx. Mark's going to get his way out of the way. Apparently Jack there with a quick bounce to the sideboard. Marked by 8 will miss out. Dead Monster comes in. Jack with a bump through. And Dead Monster can't find his way on for a decent shot. Instead it's Polar coming out of the midfield to keep the pressure going. No boost left for him though. Going to try challenge against Monkey. Demo in from Clayx though, leaves it all to Jack on the defensive. Bumped out in the end by Dead Monster, finding his clear. Monkey able to stop once again, beat out 2. Polar last man standing, and he does find that return. That might just be enough. 7 seconds, got 100 boost picked up. Clayx gets that demo in, tries to find Monkey over in the left-hand corner, and Dead Monster will just leave that to hit the floor. And it will be Stormtroopers with a game on the board here, Bacon. This is going to be the start of a reverse sweep potentially here.
I don't know, Jay, because that last sequence was saved entirely from a spawn. After the demo, I think it was apparently Jack, spawned on into the right side closest to the ball and literally moved 5 meters after spawning and then was able to get a save to stop the sequence build up. So there is an aspect of luck to Rocket League. We all know it with that RNG to which side you spawn on, and there it worked for them. But Stormtroopers cannot, rely on that next time. There are so many moments where Stormtroopers needed to get demos on in, because when BDS build on up, you've got to somehow stop them from it. And Stormtroopers have got great maneuverability about themselves. Notice that now that they're using a lot of width in their plays. But when it comes to that defense, when BDS start picking it up, Stormtroopers are still looking quite scared to me.
No, they absolutely are, and I think that's going to just been shown in their playstyle and their confidence. Not all the touches are great, not everything sets up to a decent offensive play or even a defensive play for the Stormtroopers side. And they're close. No, they are close. You're absolutely right about that, but just not quite enough to go past the hurdle a lot of the times, and you can sort of feel that they know they're up against RLCS caliber here. They need to play to confidence, though. They need to know what they're capable of. And maybe they're not capable of beating out this squad, but they can't afford to let that be because of the fact that they're making mistakes like Polar almost did right there. As BDS get on the early offensive in that blue half. It is returned, but Monkey Moon here with control past 1, not past 2, though, and Jack has his own control. Good challenge against Mark by 8. We'll get it over to the orange half of the field. As Mark goes in with a great touch. Dead Monster with a dribble out. Polar to receive it. Redirect is right on! And Polar scores a banger for the Stormtroopers.
Great early flick coming out there from Dead Monster, but Polar lingering downfield. No one ready to receive that. Like, if the interception came on in there, Jay, by, I do believe that was... Oh, it's going to be now, I think Monkey Moon. If he'd been able to get that up in the air, we'll say Stormtroopers would have been done for, because they have been in a 1v2 situation, and we know BDS beat them on that. But to get that pass, I don't want that.
No one wants that, Bacon, I don't think.
No.
Off that ceiling increase, Polar might as well have scored the own goal. So a great redirect to start, but lacking in the back line once again from the Stormtroopers side. It's 4 minutes to go to the clock, roughly. It's past that first one. We are just 1-1 on the board here. The Stormtroopers back in their own half of the defensive side of the field. Polar's going to try and find a way out, but he's feeding it to Mark by 8. Jack has got to come forward and get that 50-50 in. Den Monster's got to win out a fight against Clayx as well. Running out of position and boost, but they still set this up. Look at the responsive positions from Clayx and co. And apparently Jack will come in against Monkey Moon, put it out to the box. Polar outfield. Clayx going to challenge, and Dead Monster will find his way in. There comes apparently Jack past everybody. It was a bit too quick. I didn't realize it at first, but it's 2-1 back for the Stormtroopers side.
I was scared right there for Stormtroopers when they were getting so clustered up. It felt like they had no room to move about, no air to breathe, and apparently Jack just pulls out an absolute belter, turns around on it. That has just not only given his team space naturally, but also given him a goal and a lot of room to breathe now. Like, they can start to try and formulate their own game. They've got to get control of this ball. They cannot allow it. Monkey Moon though. Ooh. Damn, son.
The Dead Monster saw that danger coming in, was so ready to receive off the bump, and indeed he did. The pressure reapplies itself from BDS. Apparently Jack's going to get beaten to the ball by Monkey Moon. Dead Monster needs to set something up out of this back line. And into the midfield, Clayx beats one. And two more coming in to respond to it. It's just not enough for Stormtroopers.
Good cut out in the midfield there by Mark Bay and Clayx. Yeah, straight and simple being Polar to the ball. Polar getting up right early, but still too far away from it. And you run that risk by chasing everything in the air so close to the net. You've got to have a man covering. You can't just send one to naturally just play that disturbance play like you see there. That is just to force your opponent's hand. You've got to have a second man in net to clean up.
Ball up from Polar at the halftime marker. The midfield control contested by both sides and standing at evens for good reason. Jack comes up trying to find something. Denied quickly by Clayx. Again, very passive from the Stormtroopers back up here. They still set it up eventually, and Jack even set up for a decent dunk player, but Mark is a bit quicker to the marker. Clayx missing his touch. Polar comes in, challenges appropriately, follows suit inside that box, but no further than that. Apparently Jack up. Monkey Moon going to get out. Dead Monster leaving his own. As Mark leaves Monkey Moon. Polar, decent challenge in off the midfield line. Dead Monster up and around. Clayx going to get challenged out from the box. Marked by 8, goes up and over. Tries to find something to work out of the corner here. He'll dribble it right in front of the net, setting up Monkey Moon from potential dunk. Is a little bit out of position for it. Claims for the final shot though. It's denied this time by Polar.
Yeah, and a good placement from Polar to try and stall. But unfortunately, with all that boost stolen away from by BDS, they're not able to get into great ground. Polar there just going wide of target. If that was on net, that would have been another goal. And how many of those we've seen already here, Jay? BDS do have an error. They do have an area where they are weaker. And it is all coming down to these clearances. But the problem is they're so confident in that area not being so damaging purely because their opponents have no boost at all. They're being starved of it. They're happy just keep on breaking it. It's essentially weighing up risk to reward. And the risk is well worth it.
We're still a slogfest here from the Stormtroopers side. 60 seconds up to just 50 now. As demos come in the midfield and the Stormtroopers side trying to set up some sort of offensive play, but you can see the returns coming out from BDS have been thick and fast and efficient from these guys. Mark beating Polar to the ball, recognizing he's right behind him. Bumping as he continues his own play out towards Dead Monster, and he passes out towards the box where Polar's at. Here comes Jack setting up Dead Monster for a shot. And that is the lead regained at the best possible moment for the ST side.
Yeah, Meteor's going to rain down on this one, like apparently Jack rained down on Dead Monster to get a screamer. 30 seconds remaining, Jay. Can they hold it? It's going to be so clutch. The tension is going to be so high right now.
Is it park the bus time for Stormtroopers? It may well be. Clayx has something to say about that, though. Still trying to force the issue out against them as Monkey Moon comes in. Jack going to challenge by Mark. Polar comes up and he puts it out to the corner, losing all of his boost here to the sideboard bounce coming up from Dead Monster. A great play from Mark by 8, and Jack's got to take that off the backboard because that's dangerous position. 2 players in the center line. 5 seconds left, and they have got offensive going in the blue half, but it's over from Polar. The Dead Monster off the backboard, looking to kill it to the floor. Monkey will keep it going though. Back to Mark. Polar goes in. Here comes Jack for an absolute screamer. And from the high marker will not be able to connect it, but it won't matter. Stormtroopers have brought us back to a standing here. Game 5 is on the way, and their heroic efforts could lead to a reverse sweep.
I'm still scared though, Jay. It's one game of 3 that are needed, and you look how close that was. Stormtroopers are finding ways around their opponents. They're trying to pull them on in. Notice that as well. They're keeping close to their net because BDS do try to do that smother. So it's trying to bring them on in, and then they can pull out those big breakaways. That is risky, because BDS want that playstyle as well. So it's a super interesting. It all comes down to the most minute details, and it does come down largely to Stormtroopers being able to get those massive clears, which, when you've only got at most 20 boosts to play with, are hard to find.
No, absolutely. They are very, very difficult at certain points, and it's all partially down to what you say. BDS starving them of all their resources and starving them of opportunities here, but they have held in there. They have hung on to the smallest of threads, and the BDS squad will now be up against it here. It's game 5, the reverse sweep in for the Stormtroopers to complete it right here and right now. The kickoff against apparently Jack, and Clayx will come in against Dead Monster. A good challenge from him. Will keep it over in the midfield. Mark Bayett's got challenges. The ball goes up and around, and Dead Monster with a good 50-50 from the corner. Jack goes in off the backboard in towards the net, but it will not be received. Monkey booms it right onto an open net, and they get overzealous for the first time in this series. It's the one time where they're punished.
Yep. And Jay, what is going through the heads of Stormtroopers right now after you've just got that win to come on into game number 4 and get that slapped right on into you? I don't know. I would hate to be in their place right now, but if they're strong, apparently Jack apparently is, they're up to the challenge. What a play here. Polar with the disturbance on Clayx, following on through, and apparently Jack being able to turn it around. Take a bow.
Off the corner, couldn't have bounced more perfectly if you tried. And 1-to-1, we're all evened out here. Look at Polar against Mark Bayet off the corner bounce. Demos in. Here comes Jack with another good shot, but Clayx is there to deny it. Dead Monster making his way up as Clayx tries to find his way out of the back line. Here comes Mark with a clear into the midfield, but no further than that. And the pressure has really picked up here from the Stormtroopers. Further bumps in. Monkey Moon still keeps it away, but a dangerous ball comes out. No third player there to respond to it. Dead Monster comes forward in the end, but he's beaten by Monkey as Jack swings out of the midfield, and this team have just gotten fired up. They are ready to take their own and start striding here against the BDS side.
They are indeed, but those close downs, those 50-50s that BDS are now pulling out where they're getting really deep. Monkey Moon, the triple damage by 8 as well, just clearing the field. Wrecking balls come on through, but Stormtroopers have been able to respawn, Jay. They've got 32 boosts each, and they can regain control here. They are locked down into their own half, but that's where they've been the entire series.
How do you maintain such composure to adjust on the defensive after you've lost every single player in the back line? And the pace is just quickened. Jack gets back against an open net. Mark had that scored. But alas, Stormtroopers keeping us at an even standing. Monkey Moon desperately trying to break it with a great aerial dribble, but Jack again in position to try and deny it from the box. As Monkey controls inside of that box, and they all commit to the defense. Polar's credited with the save, and they are pulling out all the stops to hold the back line. Mark with a dribble. Jack comes out with a response, and into the orange side offensive we will go. Bounce out from the corner. Polar here with a receiver will boom it onto Monkey Moon. I don't think Dead Monster can go for a shot, but he'll try and keep the pressure up here.
That build-up is not convincing. They didn't have any boosts there, Jay, and now Polar has just got a buy for time. Well read there by Clayx. It is all coming down to BDS in control, but they just cannot get past. There is a nuisance on the pitch, and it's a couple of Stormtroopers. If only BDS could get a little bit more accuracy alongside their speed right now, they'd be able to break on through. But
so close. The 50-50 just didn't quite work out for him. He got blocked off in the end, and the return can come through. Monkey on target, but Polar takes it away. Apparently Jack going to set it up towards Dead Monster now. Here from the sideboard, over to the orange corner. Monkey tees it off before it hits that wall. And apparently Jack here in the midfield. Mark up with a dribble here against Polar. Miss out from him, but Dead Monster able to respond before Monkey can get there. Apparently Jack tees it up, but no player can get far forward enough. A back and forward slog between one offensive and the other. As BDS return to their offensive play. I think they've had the majority of the offensive pressure. It's only a matter of time before this works, but still, the back line holds its own, and Stormtroopers will not concede one. Jack with a dribble. It's denied by Monkey.
But look at what BDS are doing. They're going for a lot of dribbles here, actually slowing the play down slightly, and that's so they can move up as a team. Almost like a flying V right now going on with BDS. And it is all down to plan. They want to keep barraging this net and hope that one of these rebounds from a save is in a prime position for a...
Clayex will go up against the opposition. 2-1 for BDS. And a little under a minute to this clock here. Is this the end for Stormtroopers? Do they have enough life left in it? Sideboard bounce, Dead Monster coming in over to the corner. Polar going to try and find his way up with a decent challenge on a setup. Apparently Jack sets him up right there, but no. Monkey Moon gets there to interrupt the play and clear it all the way to the blue half. Dead Monster beaten, another one beaten, denied by Polar. Dead Monster to return, but only so far as the midfield. The ball is not fast enough. And once again, throwing everything they can as defensive past Stormtroopers with 30 seconds to score one and stay alive. Jack takes it under one. Polar distracting Monkey Moon, but Mark Payet just bombs the last man on rotation, and Polar still gets the save. How on earth did he do that? Clayex challenge next. Polar up for the redirect. He's going to miss out his touch. Monkey Moon's going to get that saved in, and the final countdown ensues as Clayex and Dead Monster demo each other out. Jack's going to go up with an aerial dribble. 12 points, a booster with his flip. Beats out one, but not beating out a second. Cleared out to the blue half. Dead Monster's got to keep this alive, and he only just keeps it high off the ground. Off the ceiling, it will bounce, and the bumps in will give BDS the series. 3-2 in the best of 5, and the reverse sweep is shut down at the last of seconds.
You got to feel for Stormtroopers here. They stepped up to the task. They're able to really take on their opponents. And can we just say right now, big shout out to apparently Jack. He was stellar in that series to be able to suddenly start momentum for his team. When all looked a little bit lost, he was able to get those big breakout goals, and that is incredible. I can't wait to see where this lad goes. But BDS showing their strength. This is a team that undoubtedly are, like we said, big bullies, but undoubtedly showing the finest of Spanish Rocket League with a little French spice.
Certainly a fun series all the same. Crafters, my man, are you sweating about as much as we were and as much as Stormtroopers were in that series?
I don't think I was sat down for the last 10 seconds of that game. That was absolutely ridiculous, man. And man, Stormtroopers, what a valiant comeback. Let's be honest. They managed to turn it around after really taking a beating in the first two games. It was 5-2, 5-1. Then they really turned it around. I mean, Jay, I remember you mentioned about Stormtroopers. When they seem to get momentum, they can roll with it. That's what happened in the next two games, in game 3 and 4. They got momentum, held it, and then just managed to beat BDS at their own game. But I suppose at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, BDS were just overwhelming them too much, especially in that game 5. You saw how many saves that Stormtroopers had to make in the end, and eventually their defense just slowly broke down, and BDS got their chances where and when they could. So congratulations to BDS, but Stormtroopers, you have nothing to be ashamed of in that one.
Boys.
Absolutely not.
Results coming on in for the other side of this lower bracket.
Yeah, I was going to mention this. We are now into the closing stages of this bracket. We now have our final 6 teams, none of which are called Oxygen Esports. They got knocked out by AS Monaco in Game 5, 2-1. It was finished in Game 5 over the Rocket Baguette stream. Wow, what an upset.
Like,
with,
and
going out.
when we look at that, like we're talking about how awkward tells without Cash bringing in Tigray, it was a player for player swap, wasn't it, with AS Monaco? And you just look at it and go, AS Monaco today have had moments of awkwardness, we have to say, but that's just natural when you're picking up a new player. And Cash has fitted on in a lot better, and it all stems, I think, largely. Ignite has got a lot more mellow, should we say, on the pitch. He's not as aggressive and as much of a striking factor as he used to be. So they've had to bring in a fully fledged striker, and it seems to be working for them. But Solari up next on the other stream, like currently going on, sorry.
Yeah, I
crazy.
was going to say, they've just started game 3. Monaco is 2-0 up in this series so far. They've just started game 3. Man, I've not seen Solari play today. I don't know what's going on with him, because they dropped earlier on to the Clappers into the lower bracket. Now they made this run through to this stage. Winner of that plays Canyons for a spot in the main event this weekend. But we'll keep you updated with what's going on the other streams as we go through. We've still got 2 series left here on Rocket Kingdom TV. Don't go anywhere. Next up, it is going to be BDS, as you just saw. They're going to be taking on Magnifico, who just took out 2 Monkey. So that's coming up after the break. Don't go anywhere. Closing stages of the European Rocket League Spring Series Qualifier is the name of this tournament.
Can we make it longer?
Championships and Qualifier Part 1, Part 2, what have you. But we're here for the Rocket League. My name's Crabman, your humble host for today, joined by the Eternal J and Digital Bacon, and we are going to get straight into this matchup. It is going to be BDS, who we just saw taking out the Stormtroopers against Magnifico. Jay, talk us through this Magnifico team. We've not seen them on the stream so far today.
Well, look, if the Stormtroopers are potential incarnate, then this Magnifico side are potential realized. They have been dominating in some of the weeklies and some of the other bubble scene tournaments that we've seen over the course of the last few weeks and months, in fact. And they're pinned right now to be, at this moment in time, one of the top contenders for Rival Series next season. So looking at these guys, it seems like BDS are just going further and further up when it comes to the bubble scene sort of, challenges. And this will be the biggest one for them so far.
Yeah, well, without further ado, let's see how the Rising Stars get on against the RLCS team in BDS. Guys, take it away.
Thank you, Crafters. Yes, no time wasted on this matchup as we see the Magnifico side take those orange colors as would you expect. These guys have been known in the bubble scene, and again, keep your eyes on some of their talents because they have proven their worth time and time again. But against BDS, can they prove themselves here in the Spring Series for elimination? It's all in the best of 5. BDS, we can try not to have such a close shave against the bubble scene too much like they did in that last series. You can see already they're getting in the offensive half for it. A weird touch from Atomic, not going to quite make this happen early on in this watch. It's Emery who takes up against Monkey Moon, going to the backboard early on. They're going to try and keep the pressure applied for the orange side.
Close then. The follow for Atomic, unfortunately, just a little bit too slow there, Jay. Notice right now, Magnifico probably were watching the latter portions of that last series against Stormtroopers, and they're going for a lot of these high plays. Atomic, you absolute god!
All right, that's a start.
That's a statement.
From the ceiling to the floor and the back of the net, Magnifico will start things in this series. BDS, that is the shock to the system that they wanted to avoid here. You can see Emery going to try to see if he can keep this going here against Ukis. Clayx will come up with a decent challenge. Monkey Moon going to wrap back over as Clayx continues of his own right. Ukis going to get those bump plays in. Atomic going to tee it back away and towards Monkey Moon now. Mark Vayet repositioning to the midfield line, and he'll take this inside the box for the moment. Clayx with a good shot. Atomic with a good save, and Magnifico will keep away from the back of the net for the moment. Monkey Moon, though, almost did one better to Atomic's line. He'll get the 100 boost, allow Emery to come forward with a dribble, but for the most part, we sit at this 1-0.
Yeah, a few weeks back here, Jay, we might have been thinking Magnifico were just the first of the teams, like the RLRS capable teams to come on through. We just thought it was because they had formed together so early. But no, they keep on breaking expectations, going past, as Ireleague said earlier, going plus ultra. And it's just
Did he really say
crazy.
that?
Yeah.
Did he really say that?
Hero Academia quote. We'll
Oh
continue
my
that,
God.
guy.
What a wave. What a wave. I can say that because I'm no better, but I would never say plus ultra on stream. I'd say plus UKISS and +1 goal for the Magnifico side.
I mean, if you're ever going to weave out and like use those statements, it just seems right now that the lads of Magnifico are going Super Saiyan, Jay. They are going to the next level. And BDS, who we said, like, they're an RLCS team now, and they're getting absolutely schooled.
To be fair, this is a team that have come up against a very tough sort of squad and have been going all day so far. So the question really remains is how much of this is down to you know, probably tired and fatigue there from the BDS side. But for the moment, they are still sitting pretty at a 2-0 for the Magnifico side. 2.5 minutes, potentially a feeler game coming out from BDS. There's still plenty of time to turn this around, but the number of returns coming in from Magnifico will look to keep things on their toes here. Clayex now with his control, beating out 1 and 2 in the midfield, challenging on the second player and bouncing from the corner position. But again, quickly returned by the orange end of the field. They are not allowing BDS any real room to breathe here as the demos ensue. Monkey Moon goes up off the ceiling. Second touch is going to go off the backboard. Wow. Atomic going to take it away and challenge Clayex all the same.
Atomic is lucky there. The ball was delivered straight down to him. Anywhere else on that net, and it would bounce straight back up, yes, into the crossbar, but then back down to net. Positioning is a little bit questionable at times coming on out from Magnifico. How they're able to deal with this control that is coming out from BDS. It has just been an onslaught, and Magnifico have been able to weather the storm.
Lucas over to the corner. Clayex, 83 points of boost, has contention. Tease it up into the midfield. Mark Bayet coming off the ceiling. Atomic will take it back down all the same. Follows through against Monkey Moon. UKISS in with a shot, and it's denied by Mark. This time Emery with a final opportunity, and Mark gets that save in all the same. UKISS will keep it in the corner, though. The 100 boost is picked up by Monkey now, with a minute to go on the clock. He sideboard bounce into Clayex now, and Monkey's going to fake it out. Could not get his touch in, unfortunately, off the crossbar. And Atomic comes up. Mark's going to wrap back over. Monkey Moon, 100 points of boost to his name. Pushed out by UKISS in the end, but time is of the essence, and Magnifico still have a 2-0 lead above BDS.
They do, and you can see BDS is starting to get used to Magnifico now, but Magnifico starting to show some cracks, starting to show some mistakes. And it is down to that constant pressure, double commit there, and not being able to recover.
Mark to Clayex, and unfortunately the defensive baited off the backboard and decimated in the back line. 2-1 for Magnifico, still in the lead by a little bit, but BDS have turned the dials to 11. Let's see if they can keep it going all the way into overtime. Emery here with control. Demo in against Atomic, so Emery's going to have to carry this ball in on his lonesome. Mark Bayet will challenge him. Monkey Moon will get challenged of his own right. A bomb shove coming out will throw off one of the clear players, but Mark still gets a demo in on one, trying to bump out Emery, and opens up the line for Clayex as he goes to evens for BDS.
This is the strength of BDS right here. Adaptation. This is a team that are so used to each other, Jay, that they can talk perfectly. They're coming up on the fly with strategies of how to beat out their opponents, and they're keeping themselves calm. 2-0 down, being able to turn that around in the final few moments, and then also in situations like that, which looks so dire, being able to keep nice and calm just shows the strength of this side.
Well, welcome back, BDS. Not in the servers of right now.
Come back.
3 back-to-back on the trot in less than 60 seconds. And they have a lead with 4 of those seconds to the clock.
Beautiful end to this series, this game, sorry. 4 seconds.
Not yet.
Yeah, we're not calling GG's yet. We're not that BM. But it's definitely felt like a killer last minute.
Well, last second now as we go to extra time, and kept alive by the BDS of Magnifico squads. Atomic's got to get this 100 boost, though. Beat out Monkey Moon. Gets him. Emery now with control. Flicking it up for Yukis. He receives. The shot's in. Mark takes it away. Final chance for Atomic. He keeps it alive inside the box. But Magnifico were not ready for that one. A great attack, though, coming out from Magnifico as they just lose out survival in game 1.
I love this, Jay. Clearly, Magnifico just saw last series on stream and thought, you know what? We can one-up that, taking the early lead. But BDS, just all credit to them for being able to turn that around in the final moments. It now comes down to Magnifico. How are they going to adjust? And it's going to be all down to that constant pressure, because we did see those double commits come out. They're able to handle it quite nicely, but only for about 30 seconds. Past that, their boost is at nothing. They're having to jump for everything, you know, really predict their opponents, and that is when they get into a little bit of a mad moment.
And a mad moment there from several offensives and defensive lines, especially in those last few seconds where it felt like maybe, just maybe, they would have turned away a buzzer beater goal. But in the end, it's still going to be a game for the favour of BDS here, starting things off in similar sort of fashion to their last series. But I feel like Magnifico have a bit more potential behind them. They were playing really confidently, even when they were on the back foot, even when they were being pressured by the BDS side. So let's see if game 2 can change the pace and change the narrative here. Emery up against Mark by 8, going in straight for a shot, setting up ClayX. Oh, what a start from the blue side of the court.
BDS picking up where they left off. Nice little link up there. I have to question Yukis. It comes down, yes, he could have got that ball when it touched the ground, sure. But it's so hard to predict that. Coming around, he needs to line up himself better. It just all came down to very much on the spur decisions, you think, when it is all down to 2 seconds.
Atomic here with the feed up, marked by 8 to receive off the counter from BDS as Magnifico are forced back into their half, but you can see how Atomic wants to keep it going off the sideboard bounce from the corner into the mid. Atomic takes it up. Clay, it's going to wrap back over. Atomic with a decent challenge, puts it out towards Emery next. Ball up off the ceiling. Mark's going to miss, and Yukis will go forward. Clayx, a very little boost available for him. The flick up puts it for Emery. This could be an opportunity for them, as Clayx may have made a mistake. And that's ball in a dangerous position. Yukis got to go up, but Monkey able to get off the backboard and clear it out to orange space. Still Emery up for a decent play to the backboard. Another opportunity presenting itself. A bumping against Clayx doesn't quite work out, as Atomic is just challenged in the back line.
Yeah, and the biggest ploy from BDS right now is that they know Magnifico are ace on their mechanical skills. So they're trying to keep this ball under their control, trying to reduce their opponent's boost down to nothing so that they can't be as strong as they possibly can be. That little hit into the corner will be fine for them right now because they've got control of the midfield. They can't get that interception though. Emery is looking dangerous.
Oh! What a link up! Emery passing it back to Atomic and completely faking out his challenger. And it was so quick, so close that BDS just couldn't quite amount to a defensive, even though they were probably inches away from getting touches to disrupt that ball. And now Clayx and Mark try and return off the back of third phase kickoff. Challenged by Atomic up as Monkey Moon has his own control dribble up past none of them here as Atomic comes out with his challenge. And again, they get fired up here for Magnifico. Again, they try and find a way in. Emery to Yukis, what a pass, but a bit too fast. And Yukis couldn't maintain control.
Yeah, and you can see right now, Mark Bay trying to respond accordingly, but can't keep a hold of that ball. Can't get turned back into his opponent's half. Monkey Moon will give it a chance right now. Going for the dribble, but kept out by Atomic. Definitely BDS are struggling a little bit more to gain control and keep a hold of it. Magnifico are fantastico right now in how they can just react, turn, and adapt to their opponents.
Both sides are working for this lead at the moment at the halftime marker. You would have thought that Mark by 8 would have broken the stalemate, but no. Emery still gets his save, and Atomic finds his way outfield. Mark blocks it. Clayx will fall back regardless as Yukis comes up. Good challenge from Monkey Moon, all the same. He's going to try and control it. Inclax will be back to get back up and get the 100 boost out the midfield. Got plenty of resources to waste, but Yukis still gets his challenger in and keeps it away from potential. Mark still comes in with control. It's challenged by Emery. Yukis double committing to that. Could not find his way out. Atomic, however, will get it to the corner. Challenge against Claes next. Claes trying to stall the pacing for the moment, try and beat them out. He beats one, but not the second to the ball. Atomic falls back far enough to the corner, and the demos coming out from Magnifico will take away BDS potential and go for shots in the blue half.
You can see as well a lot of the midfield control that is now gained by Magnifico is purely just by presence. They're sort of playing mind games with their opponents here, Jay. They might not have the boost, but their opponents don't know that. Trying to keep track of it is so hard. Emery jumping on in like this, though, so unexpected because he's not done that before. BDS were not ready for it, and that's how it's just...
Oh, Atomic!
A golden moment.
I thought for a moment his position here against Yukis was a complete fake out, but in fact he got inside the net and lurked out there for Klex to try to clear it into his position. That was so smart from Atomic. And that's a second goal picked up by Magnifico. Only a single goal difference, but could still be enough to win the game, and it has been enough in the past in Rocket League history. There's still 1 minute and 15 to return fire. Mark and Monkey off the kickoff. Emery coming in off the midfield. Trying to challenge these players against Klex as well to the backboard. Monkey Moon's going to try and find his way out. Atomic touching, but missing out his second. Smart Baye up. Emery back on. Should get blocked off by Klex here. And 60 seconds left to the clock here. Bacon. Time is of the essence, but it's only a goal differential. BDS can still make this happen unless Emery can get an absolutely impossible goal from zero angle. Magnifico go up to 2.
When Emery went for that follow-up, I thought he was mad. Absolutely crazy, throwing himself at the ball. How do you plan to connect with that? He seems more hopeful than actually going to happen. But his magic on that Octane just sees it through. 3-1 right now by Magnifico. What a response by them. BDS, yes, on out, of course, of this game. But where do they turn this around? They're getting closed out.
Oh, Mark could not get the dunk down chance, and Emery challenging Klex and a double commitment there. BDS with less than 20 seconds now as Yukis goes up for a double touch. Couldn't connect it, and Atomic can't make his happen either, but with time being stored, Magnifico are in pole position at this stage. Final countdown ensuing. They've still got pressure in the blue half, so it looks like BDS might concede one, and some very smart and accurate play coming in from Magnifico will even up this series in Game 2. What a performance from those guys.
Yeah, Magnifico, they've still got a few problems, don't get me wrong, with their double commits in defense after being pressured for so long. But the way they can break out, I have not seen this from another team, and it largely comes down to Emery and Atomic. Their solo dribbles downfield, generally in the air, are bar to none the best mechanical runs I have ever seen, Jay.
Absolutely, those runs were amazing, and they certainly turned the tide in the battle. I feel like, for this squad to have gone so far against BDS. And it should be reminded as well, as you mentioned at the start of the series, such a close affair from players who were bubble scene compared to RLCS caliber. So, already they have something to be proud of right here for this Magnifico side. The question is, Bacon, how much further can it go?
It's an interesting one because you look at this team. Emery and Atomic are coming out of nowhere, essentially. Yukis is the only one of note, being off that previous Baguette squad roster. And you look at this and go, you're seeing pickups of 2 new lads. And that's what worries me, because we're right on at the start of the offseason still, really, aren't we, Jay? So you look at Emery and Atomic there, and you say, this is a fantastic team. But how many other sides, when you've got all the roster mania currently going on, nothing locked on in, let's just say with Singularity at the moment, who suddenly look at this roster and go, Emery's pretty good. How about we snatch him, get that ability for us? And you're just there as a fan. I want to see how far Magnifico go, but
I mean,
you can't blame.
Look, right, I love that you compare the whole, the Singularity situation, because Singularity are waiting for these guys in the wings. Yep. They will be the next and final challenge for whoever wins this series here. So you never know. If Emery manages to get a victory right here, maybe there could be a new signing coming up. But that's probably a story for another day, Baker. For now, we have to get into the story that is directly in front of ourselves. It's game 3 between BDS and Magnifico. 1-1 in this series. It's all standing at evens as we see Magnifico just continue the pressure that they started in that last game. Balls up, Emery on. That's an accurate shot, and that's an opener for Magnifico.
I love this. Is like the perfect caster's curse in a sort of sense, Jay. You know, I point him out, and once again, he gets the job done. 13 seconds. We've seen a ton of quick goals, don't get me wrong, in this series, but every single time it is impressive.
Oh, look at this backboard play. Mark by 8 couldn't even clear it out. Kleck's got to come in with response and recovery because Magnifico are again just driving this downfield as much as they can. Look at Mark with his challenges, but Atomic clearing it right on, and Klex just gets back in time to defend against 2 very good shots from the Magnifico side. And BDS feel pressured. Like, they are getting trounced in their own half. The defensive is not holding up against what Magnifico have to bring. They will return to some sort of pressure off the back of that defensive, but again, Atomic knowing exactly where to place himself, right to an open net, just not fast enough against Clayx, who again is on rotation. Monkey and Clay now coming in with a challenge, and it will be cleared out of the midfield line. Magnifico, though, just returning to the blue half and keeping the pressure on.
Emery close there to get him going. You're right. Atomic then, back in defense, it's almost like he had a crystal ball. He could see into the future. It was so perfect. Does that leave questions now? Oh, even the clutch save? Christ.
Lordy Lord. Down to the backline wire. Atomic will take control and try and disrupt the ball's path. He'll be successful against 1, not against 2. Yukis will leave it for Emery once again. Team goes out towards this corner. 12 points of boost picked up, but Mark knows exactly where to place himself and how to pace himself, most importantly here. The pacing has been much better from BDS, but Magnifico have fought back against it, and they are in much better positions against the BDS side. Good tee off from Monkey, getting it past 1, not past 2 against Atomic, though. Yukis past the infield. There's Emery out of nowhere. How quickly did he make it from the back line to the midfield for Magnifico?
Literally, all you have to say to this is just because he just zoomed on in like crazy. He just saw the ball and just reacted like a bloodhound, Jay. Hurtling towards it. He is speed.
I can't be the only one who, in that replay, thought of the Scooby-Doo running noise. Do you know that one? I don't know how to make it on stream, but it's just like, it feels so appropriate. 2-0 for Magnifico, and regardless how silly you want to frame that goal, it's still a fantastic one. This could be a fantastic one from Mark. Monkey will try and follow it out, but will not happen for him. Yukis with control on the dribble. He's got his flip ready, but he can't take it down center. It will go to the left-hand side of the field, but look at Emery with the cut-off at the ceiling. Clayx just left to go back to square one alongside Monkey, bouncing out to the midfield, and one mistake is what cost them on the defense. 2:22, and it's 2-1 up for Magnifico.
You look at this. Yes, you might have Atomic and Emery, but BDS have Clayx. He has been that 1v1 solo play god for so long, and it also stems down to his shot accuracy. He can put himself in such a brilliant position and thread the needle. Brilliant pass as well by Monkey Moon, but Clayx there to be able to beat out 2 lads in net. Crazy stuff.
Yukis making his way up from the box. Good challenge from Clayx. Here comes Atomic. He's beaten out by Monkey Moon. Mark, one player misses. It's all to Yukis now. He's going to get faked out. Mark wins these, but not today. Yukis with the save. Clayx on, and Atomic back off over to the midfield. No one can follow suit here for Magnifico, but you can see how BDS have committed to this offensive. No one in that blue backline for the moment. They are looking to hunt for their second goal here, and they are getting dangerously close to doing so here. Backline bumped out. Yukis does find his way back out of this one, though, not whiffing on that defense. Clay XT's up, Atomic will find his way back out into the blue half corner, and Magnifico can start from scratch. This is what you think. Monkey will boom back off the crossbar. Mark couldn't follow suit, but Monkey will set it up for Clay X instead, and Atomic finds the clear out the midfield.
BDS have full control right now, Jay. Look, they're continuously hammering. That's going to be the slightest mistake, but Clay X recovers. The drop down, not going to connect, but Monkey will pick this up. That ball is struggling to get past the midfield line, and it's all down to BDS, one after the other, in unison, being able to just continuously attack it. Bringing it close to the backboard like this, the buy time is clever from Magnifico, but they now need to keep it down there.
What a block from Nukis, reading that position so well. The setup could have been deadly, and the ball goes back into dangerous contention. Mark up against 3, all to the left-hand side of the field. Atomic challenge on the first. Clay X will be able to come in with a bit more momentum, and Boost going for a shot, and Atomic takes that out with a beautiful back pass out of the net. And now Monkey coming out the side. Mark's going to get forced back. He misses his touch. Emery coming forward. And this guy is playing like there's an offside rule in Rocket League. Like, he's so far back and then comes forward immediately as the pass is received. And the ball off the backboard for Mark by 8. Emery's going to take it away. Clay X back into his path. Atomic's going to leave it out. Emery with a shot. And Monkey Moon there with a defensive. Yukis coming back off the backboard for a touch. Clay X will find his way out. Mark by 8 is off the sideboard onto the ceiling. Atomic takes it away. Follow up from Clay X. It's going to go off the post. And the perfect chance for BDS is thrown out the window. It's Magnifico. We'll go 2-1 up on match point against BDS, Bacon. Who would have thought we'd be saying that today?
I don't know. A lot of people, when you look at what Magnifico have done over the past few weeks, Jay, with the amount of tournaments, the amount of, like, you know, nice Cactus Cups they've taken on, this is a team that has proven time and time again that they're worth the hype, and they keep on going beyond. A spot in the spring series feels like it's only right for them. But again, when you look at BDS, how far they've come compared to when they were just ARG. Like you said, coming into this season, the just gone one of the RLRS, we thought that ARG were just going to bow. We didn't hear a single word, a single peep from them in the off-season. And then they turn up massive. So you just got to work for it, show what you can do on the pitch. And so far, Magnifico are showing it.
Again, it's match point for this orange end of the field. BDS to concede 1 will concede their chances at Spring Series as we go to game 4, and a very important one to say the least for BDS. Clay X up off the sideboard, looking for his way in off the backboard here. Smart by up, Monkey Moon just about connects that ball together, but it did look a bit dangerous. Atomic still comes in with a second touch. Is he going to solo this? He'll go up against Mark, but not to be. The fact he carried it that far forward, though, from that midfield challenge that already went awry from BDS, is a fantastic way for Magnifico to start in this one, and they'll continue peppering that backboard with ball setups.
Yeah, and you look at right now, BDS struggling to get their effective passing plays going. They can get passes, but they're a little bit too slow for their liking, and then looking to link it up. That's why, Jay, throughout the first, well, we're now 45 seconds into the series, they're quite happy to sit back in their own half. They're scoring boost. Right now, BDS look like a ready to strike.
Monkey Moon straight on with Mark by 8 setup, and you want to talk about Emery coming out of nowhere. This guy came out of nowhere right here. First to the board of BDS. The Magnifico shocked and awed by that opener. Still plenty of time to recover, obviously, but even so, that'll rattle even the best of brains. Especially considering how they've always had control above this squad so far in this series, and almost losing a second goal to Clay X and combined there with, I think it was Mark by 8. Rotating back to that BDS half, Monkey Moon with a good shot, and Atomic's actually going to be too far forward with that. Now Magnifico are starting to get a bit overzealous and a bit overcommitting here.
They are indeed, and that's coming down to BDS playing about with pacing ever so slightly. It's throwing Magnifico off just a bit, because Magnifico, Jay, want this at full throttle, don't they? They want every single goal to be scored at 120 kilometers per hour, whereas BDS, they're experienced enough. They've been in enough tournaments to know that a win is a win. You don't have to be performing to the fullest of your abilities. You don't have to do all the twirlies in the air. A goal is a goal at the end of the day, and as long as you beat your opponents, that's all they care about.
Oh, Mark setting this one up to the box, but Ukis will take it away all the same, and the response from BDS is getting a little bit too awkward here. Emery up 13 points, a boost. Mark to the sideboard. Atomic comes in off the backboard. Emery with a demo out, but Ukis is not able to take the shot as Mark still gets off the backboard and takes it away from contention. Clayx setting it up for Mark. He'll take it off to the right-hand side inside that corner. Follow up from Atomic's clear. Clayx will come forward off the backboard. It's successful, but again, no shot coming out from BDS. Ukis can take us back down the other end of the field alongside the likes of Atomic and Emery. Ukis will get forced back as both his teammates commit. Atomic's going to fall back all the same. 100 boost at the midfield will be taken away as well. Not a lot to work for Magnifico on the boost numbers. I think for the first time in this series, they've really been boost styled. I think BDS are trying to do this on purpose. They were trying this in that last game. And here in this series, it's starting to work for the better.
Well, right now, where BDS are up, they're just playing safe here. Wow. On target. This is crazy to think. At the halfway mark, it feels almost like BDS have already won this game.
3-0. And BDS, still half a game to go, as you mentioned. They may have already run it. Is this going to be a formality for Magnifico? I mean, we saw BDS pull off a very good comeback in game 1 to even turn this to their victory. So, now Magnifico know what it takes. They've already experienced it firsthand, but just got to get that into effect here. And they've been making a lot of mistakes throughout this game, a lot of very uncharacteristic mistakes considering the past 2 games that they've won. Atomic against Clayx now off the sideboard. Emre will take it up and over. Great dribbles in against Monkey Moon. Will try and throw them off. There's a shot registered to the target as Atomic comes up, sets this one over and off to the right-hand side. Mark into the corner. Emery off the crossbar. Clayx and Monkey go into the other side corner, but only go so far with it. It should be denied by Ukis, but the returns from BDS looking much like Magnifico were in game 2 and 3.
Definitely, and there's a massive problem on the pitch. I've just noticed Atomic is slightly becoming hesitant. He's questioning his own moves. With this Magnifico side, you don't think, you just do. And right there, he's got 2 teammates doing exactly that. Beautiful.
Now first to the board of the Magnifico side. Is this the start that the orange half of the field need here? They've got 1 minute and 30 to score 2. I've seen it done in less. I mean, we saw it in game 1, just for example. But have they found their form again? Ukis up with a dribble, beating 1. That ball's still in. It's off the crossbar. Mark by 8 will deny against Atomic, so there's no centre line shot coming in for the Magnifico side, and they'll try and keep the pressure going. Sideboard, Clayx takes this one over and out. Ukis will be there to defend against it. Unfortunately, he did, because that would have gone under that crossbar of its own right. Off the backboard is where he'll go. Emery evades 1 player on the bump. Atomic's going to leave that for Ukis as Clayx goes up. And dribble control, not going to go so far with potentially a shot of its own right. Monkey is going to a bit too far at position of the centre line. Has to carry this ball out from the corner now. Against Emery, a challenge is good enough for the BDS side. The ball goes out for Atomic. Clayx up, just to try and deny it. It's very basic play coming in from BDS for the moment.
Yeah, and that is stopping Magnifico from being able to do what they want. Notice how slow this is playing, how Magnifico are struggling to be able to link up like they want to. Shots like that, not good enough to beat on out. The defenders of BDS is really testing Magnifico here.
And shots on from Ukis, 20 seconds. Atomic will set himself back up. Here comes Emery with a decent shot, but it's Mark that beats him to the ball. Ukis challenged by Clayx going into the midfield line. Sideboard in from Atomic, 38 points of boost. Can't go far with it as he misses his touch. And Emery will try pass back to him, but got to find a 0-second goal, and it's just not going to happen from here. Magnifico will concede us and go to game 5 for it. BDS have fought back with great vengeance and furious anger. And this will leave us with a surprising game 5. I mean, again, I didn't expect Magnifico to go this far against them. I thought they'd take at least 1 game, but well, BDS have been pressured, but surprisingly enough, they're the ones on the mini reverse.
They are indeed, and that's crazy because you'd expect coming into this, of course, that BDS should be in control. And if the lads of Magnifico are going to pull out a win, it's going to be clutch, you know? A little bit like to the Stormtroopers earlier, but no, Magnifico are a much more complete package. They've had the time to build that chemistry. And the problem right now for them is that their link-ups were not coming through in that game, Jay. And it just comes down to pace. They want to play super fast, they're ready for each other, but when they don't have the boost because BDS were taking it on away from them, they're not able to connect with each other because there's going to be a man intercepting. Magnifico right now, they have got to find a way to counter, regain control of the boost, and then they can start to play their own game.
Absolutely, I feel like it was the boost management that really got to them in the end. You know, like once BDS started stealing those resources away, you could see how passive it really became when it came to midfield control. And will they be able to adjust against it in time? 5 minutes to the clock. It's game 5 once again here on the Rocket Kingdom coverage stream. Will it go the full distance once again for our final match tonight? I guess we'll find out later. Ball into the center. Klex puts it out to the left-hand side. Atomic has control here. Mark puts it in for Monkey Moon. Yukis will block it. Emery comes up and tees it away. Gonna have to try follow suit against Klex. A good demo in. Mark will keep this ball going. It'll be a bit too far wide and high. Yukis puts it out. Monkey keeps it back on to the backboard. And you can see BDS has started things off with the same amount of pressure as they did in the previous game and in the previous sort of offensive. It's Emery up, Monkey over to the side, Klex out. And it will be pushed out position here by the Magnifico side, but pressure just keeps on building.
Yeah, and I'm slightly worried here because you're starting to see those double commits come out again, Jay. It means right now, Magnifico are not on the same page. Notice, Emery wants to throw this ball downfield. Yukis and Atomic are trying to dribble it. And that can change up between all of them. Another double commit coming out. Yukis is lucky he connected. And good recovery from Emery. But they've got to be talking to each other because realistically, a double commit is only going to lead to a downfall.
Especially if it's a double commit that neither player can hit. It's only lucky that Yukis got that one out to recover from his teammate's own miss. Emery passing out to Atomic. Yukis going to take this one off the corner board, try and follow suit to keep that ball in position. Double commit there on the offensive this time. And leaves that one directly in front of the net. Here comes Klex off the backboard, pushed away by Atomic. Another booming clears coming out. Yukis there to respond. He's got it. Magnifico on communication and taking a risk committing one player out rotation, but it works.
That call from Yukis, shouting, and I would imagine screaming down his mic that he's downfield. Atomic just has to full send it, and he's there to receive. Defenders not able to get back in time, and hopefully that should be the break, but Mark with the dirty linger.
Dirty luck, I feel like they're inside that box. Monkey setting it up, and now we're 1-1 on the board. BDS standing at evens, head-to-head against Magnifico. Monkey and Yukis taking that kickoff, and Emery going to have to follow suit. He's got great ball control, but it's gone a bit quiet in this game. Ball out from Klex, now off the ceiling. He'll find his way out of Mark by 8 coming forward to suit. And Clay with no boost. Yukis almost took that in front of the net, but bounced it off that backboard in the end and bounced it off himself to take it further out. Emery will try and recover with lack of aerial control and lack of boost once again. It has hurt this Magnifico side as Monkey finds his way out. Mark Bayet will come out to receive. Emery putting it in and Klex taking it out. It's just touch and go style till we see some shots come out from Yukis, proving that Magnifico still have something up their sleeves here.
The problem is right now, Jay, that big shots like that, when they're saved by Monkey Moon and there's not a lad on the opposite end, are only going to help BDS break on out, sort of do an around the world trip. Monkey Moon's a little bit questionable there since Klex was behind, but you can see the idea is just to absolutely boom it down the opposite end and gain ground.
Atomic corner in the backboard. Klex will come forward. He gets himself another touch in off the ceiling crease, and Monkey is there for that save. Emery out, 70 points a boost. Mark comes up. He takes control off the pinch inside the box, actually missing that pinch of his own right, and Yukis can continue to apply pressure, and it has been pressure for Magnifico. When is it going to amount to a goal here? Keeping control of the midfield, bounce out inside that box. Emery coming up, but no boost of his own right. That leaves Yukis in the back line to return off the clear. Mark with that demo will take away his 100 boost as well. It's Monkey goes up and over. Yukis can set it up for Emery, but you can see the quick interceptions and responses from Mark here going on for a solo play. Atomic will take that in front of the net and try find his way out of the box. Beating Clay, trying to beat Monkey, but he can't go so far with that one, and the BDS side will shut down the offensive setup for Magnifico.
It's only a matter of time until BDS start bringing out the demos as well. Now that they've got ground control, Jay, well, they just bring out the bumps and remove the players.
Yeah, easy as that. Clayx taking that one high off the backboard. Atomic actually bumped Emery out of the way, so more double commits there for the Magnifico side. Throwing off the entire line and leaving us up by a game here. Not by a goal for the BDS side, probably up by a series if they keep this going. Oh, look at the backboard. This is right on. Denied by Atomic at the very least, but you can see how quick BDS smells blood in the water and try and continue the pressure here on the orange half.
Yeah, less than 1 minute now for Magnifico to turn this around. It's going to be a hard task, especially when they're getting so nervous. You can see it, and this is that difference in experience. Jay Emery's downfield, not able to connect on it, but Atomic doing well to link up and cause a bit of pressure.
Yuki's on the backboard. Here comes Emery at point blank, and Monkey Moon gets that save in and follows it back out of the midfield. Atomic tees it over to the center line, marked by 8 towards Emery next, and from that corner, Clay is going to try and follow suit. Atomic sets it out to Yukis, is not in the center line. Going to try and chase it back. Emery coming in with decent challenges of his own right. Atomic trying to set it up. Where's Yukis? Nowhere to be seen. Back in the back line, Clayx takes it all the way off to the orange backboard. 5 seconds to the clock, and BDS will try to hit the floor right up against Yukis. Yukis will deny, and Emery will keep it going from the corner board. Marked by 8 takes it up. Yukis can respond, clear it out to open space, and Emery just can't get there in time. Magnifico fought hard to beat BDS, and they look like they might have just done it by game 4, but by game 5, the narrative is very different. As we see them moving into the qualification match on the BDS side, they'll be taking on Singularity in our next series.
They will indeed, but we have to just give it to Magnifico there, Jay. They might not be getting the win, but they've definitely let their name be known across the whole world of Rocket League, haven't they?
Absolutely. Like, this was such a great performance, and you know, the bubble scene has been coming out in full force, I feel like, against some of these RLCS and RLRS teams. So credit to them, you know, they probably took it even closer than the likes of Stormtroopers in the last match. So, you know, again, full credit to them. They had a whale of a series. Crafters, I think you might just be agreeing on that particular respect based off of how I was looking at your webcams earlier.
Yeah, definitely. All the bubble teams that we've seen today taking on these higher teams that we've seen in the Rival Series and the RLCS, especially the last couple of games that we've seen with Magnifico and with Stormtroopers, like you just said, against BDS. What a phenomenal performance by both teams, especially in that last one. Magnifico, I know it's a cheesy joke, but I've written down here, Atomic was the bomb. He was absolutely incredible in that match. Emery's such a fast player. This team is going places. I cannot wait to see what they do in the Rival Series qualifier later on this year. But like you said, it is going to be BDS taking on Singularity in the final match that we have today. Also, we just have a result literally just finished now. Canyons has taken down AS Monaco 3-1 in their final game, so they will be moving through to the main Spring Series tournament, what have you. I don't know what you really call it. The Spring Series. We're in the Spring Series, all right. Yeah, so that means, ladies and gentlemen, we are down to our final 2 teams. BDS versus Singularity. 1 spot remains for the Spring Series. Who's going to get it? Find out after this. We started off yesterday with 517 teams. We whittled them down to 64. 3 have qualified. 1 still remains to find their spot in the Spring Series. My name's Craftman, your humble host, joined by the Eternal J and Digital Bacon, and we are ready to find our final spot for the Spring Series on the European side. It is Singularity versus BDS, RLCS versus RLCS. Bacon, how do you see this one shaping up? We've seen BDS in a couple of games in a row. They look on fire right now.
They do indeed look on fire right now. And for me, BDS, they just play such a great controlled game to be able to turn it on around. Like, when you looked at them previously there on the Magnifico, they were struggling to deal with that pressure, but then being able to just turn it down, keep it controlled, try and hassle that defense, pull it in close, but not going straight for the goal, like waiting until the prime opportunity struck. Such a clever game from BDS.
Yeah, and Jay, Singularity, we saw them earlier. We saw a fair run of their games as well. We saw them against Los Hombres de Paco and against AS Monaco, who have actually qualified. Monaco not looking the best earlier on against Singularity, but then they just run into the buzzsaw that is Clappers, and that's why they're down here in the lower bracket.
Yeah, and I don't know how you can put it down to that Clappers result, whether or not you can put it down to the Clappers being great or whether Singularity in this move are not 100%. I'm certainly, in my personal opinion, leaning towards the latter. I'm not sure whether Magnus was a good pickup for these guys, and I guess we'll find out whether or not they will actually end up being able, whether it will be a good move in terms of whether or not they can make it through this matchup, because BDS are a squad with a lot to prove, as they've just promoted from the Rival Series to the Championship Series. Good shout that if they take them down right here, they will be in a very good spot overall.
Well, a preview of Season 10 of the RLCS coming up right here, right now. Quickly, before we get into the game, guys, I want your predictions. Jay, we'll start with you. Best of 5. Who goes to the Spring Series?
I think it's going to be all 5 games, and I'm leaning towards BDS.
Damn it! It took it from
BDS and 5. Bacon, what about yourself?
I was going to go with BDS and 5 as well, just because they're more complete. When we look at Singularity today, they have had some, should we say, troublesome moments where you can definitely see that they're with a new lad on the roster. So Singularity have the chance to be able to take it, but I think BDS, now that they're in the zone after that last game where they're really pushing the limit, should have the upper hand here.
Well, I want to know who out the chat thinks they're going to win. I think I see a lot of Singularity support. I want to see some BDS support. Let us know on Twitter at Rocket Kingdom TV. Use the hashtag RL Spring Series. But with no further ado, gents, take us away.
Thank you very much, Crafters. Yes, it's a very important series to say the least here. One final matchup to decide who is going to the main event of the Spring Series, Bacon. It's going to be down to the wire. At least we can agree on that much, even if our predictions are not quite as back and forth and conformed as we would have thought they would be. Regardless, though, we're not wasting any time getting into this one. We haven't wasted any time at all tonight as we jump into game 1 between Singularity and BDS. Singularity will be on the blue side. BDS will be out in orange. as we kick things off in our series here. Though and Mark by 8 taking first face, and you can see immediately the offensive half gets started on the Singularity side of things. Monkey Moon out to the mid-center. Mark by 8 is going to try and follow suit. These guys have been battling Bubble Scene players all day today so far. Maybe a bit of a change of pace in the other half of the field might be the thing that tips them over the edge.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one right now because both sides have had to face off against super aggressive Bubble Scene play, where generally as long as you can beat your opponent to the ball, you're going to be able to get a win. Here, when you're going up RLCS against RLCS, you're not going to be able to just easily get onto it. You're just going to have to really think about where you want to place that ball and think about where the attacks come from.
2 demos in from Nolly, might leave a pretty open net. He takes out the last man as well, but 2 more respawn in to take his place. Just about kept away from the backboard here, though. In and out, Magnus taking it into the midfield line. And pinching out to the center. Here comes though off the backboard. Everybody missing this one out, but it's a bit too high and too fast for him to connect the double touch. As ClayX moves in, Nolly will take that out to the right-hand side. Pass up to ClayX here. And Monkey Moon just trying to dribble it away from them.
And notice how this game has just been so quiet in terms of aggression. It's both teams waiting for their opponents to make a mistake, waiting for that time to strike, not going to give anything away, and that is very characteristic of a game 1. As long as they can just hold their nerve.
Good shot from Magnus, taken away by a Monkey Moon there on the defensive. He'll pass out to the center. Off the backboard, Monkey Moon will tee it off towards ClayX as he tries and receives. Good challenge on the second man, putting it right in front of the net, but unable to get the shot here for the BDS side. They will continue their pressure play. It will get pushed out eventually by the Singularity side. No goals being scored here. There's Nolly in towards Mark by 8 now. And dribbles up here off the ceiling. Magnus going to take his way up. Monkey Moon takes it away from Though, and ClayX off to the sideboard. It's marking from the corner for the moment here. Going to challenge against Nolly. Will beat him out for the moment. Magnus will take that on for the shot inside the box. 2.5 minutes so far in this game. It has been dead set at evens, but very, very passive from both sides. Again, as you were mentioning, just a feeler game to try and see who's going to play in what sort of style.
Yeah, and they're waiting for opportunities like this. That ball thrown downfield into Magnus's hands. Now they're going to start ramping up. You could see 2 players in the midfield. Monkey Moon has got enough time to get on back, relax, rest, see his options. He's got Mark by 8 in the middle, ClayX rotating on back. So they're looking for each other. It's all about being calculating right now, Jay.
Oh, and eventually they will find their way on as they calculate a nice goal to get the first on the board for BDS. Singularity pushed on the back foot very early on in this one here. Game 1 has certainly looked like it would be a brawl, I think, from these sides. It was a very passive brawl, to say the least, in the early part of the game, but BDS have maintained their control. Though off the backboard, ClayX will try to find his way out position here. Nolly challenging Mark, putting it into the box here. Magnus out again off the backboard, trying to push it inside that box again. Should be denied by 2 players on the defense. So not a whole lot being allowed for Singularity. The passes are intercepted and blocked by the orange backline inside that box. Nolly still with control though. He'll touch it once, but no further than that. ClayX will find his way out of field, and Monkey Moon will find the clear.
Good adjustment to double commit there as well by Mark 8 to get himself back down to the ground. And then knowing that he's not got a massive amount of boost after that, is moving on to the backboard. You can definitely see BDS are happy to just stall out this 1-goal lead.
60 seconds though, is going to take a bounce out to the center. Nolly with a dunk down, and they do get it out of dodge just by the skin of their teeth. Though up against Magnus, Nolly will chase it down. 100 boost picked up from the backline corner and will beat 2 players on the offense. Another challenge from ClayX could look deadly, but Monkey will find his way up to the blue half of the field. ClayX will back off as though reaches the ball first. The Monkey coming in, a pass out towards Mark by 8. He receives it, gets it at the backboard, could not get his second touch in, and 30 seconds remain. Still a single goal lead for BDS. BDS. Singularity can turn this around and take us to another overtime tonight. We've had plenty on this stream. And Nolly with great ball control, but couldn't go past the final hurdle. Just colliding with the back wall. And now Monkey Moon comes in with a second touch that also collides with the back wall. Mark Payet with a final response, also defended by Magnus. And both teams can't seem to get that sealing goal here for BDS. The final 60 seconds ticks by to nothing, and they will be in with an opening game here. Singularity, a bit shaky towards the end of that one.
They were indeed. And all I have to say is, what a difference in series compared to the last there, Jay. And it's down to these teams both knowing each other a little bit better and actually having expectations of what to do. They're not wanting to show all their tricks straight out of the gates. They want to hold their cards close to their chest. Game 2, however, as we know, in just Rocket League fashion, that is when all hell will break loose and Pandora's box will be opened.
I mean, most certainly it could well go that way. These two teams are among the RLCS caliber, obviously. I'm certainly expecting it to go that way with the moves in place as well. So BDS obviously starting things off great, but as you mentioned, a bit of a back and forth sort of passive affair from both sides, feeling each other out, trying to get a good read onto what they're going to do in this series. And if Singularity do respond to this, then they certainly have the better read on this one. But for now, it is a lead for BDS as they start things off here in our best of 5 Bacon. But not wasting any time, as we have always, going into game 2 very quickly into this one. Singularity will need to formulate a response on this BDS. Less BDS will give them the opportunity, and they will be able to take this series overall. So let's see if the response will come in game 2. This kickoff seems to be Thol taking on Mark by 8 from the respective corners here. So here we go. Challenge off to the midfield line. Cleggs try follow suit onto Magnus, though. He's going to chase it right back down and get the 100 boost. That way they can't use it on the BDS side. Cleggs and Monkey going up, but though will take it back out to the orange half.
Interesting as well, from what we've seen here, Singularity are giving kickoffs over to BDS. They're playing a more defensive start because they want to make sure that they've got more boost and are able to charge downfield after the kickoff. It's an interesting little strategy, but they're just reading their opponents correct right now.
Monkey off the sideboard, bounce, the ball will go into the box. Nolly over to the right, and Klex will be able to take it even further out of field. Magnus, no boost at the midfield, will be forced back to rotations, though is already in the back line, passing off towards Magnus as he gets caught in the center and clears it away from a dangerous shot that almost got set up there by the BDS side, but midfield control established. Mark off the backboard in towards Monkey Moon, and Nolly gets himself in position. Here comes Cleggs for the final dunk off the backboard one more time, and Monkey swings it off the adjustment to start things off again for BDS.
A mistake turns into magic here. Cleggs not being able to get that down, but instead puts that off to the left. Timing just not on the BDS side throughout that last, let's say, 20 seconds, but then being able to adjust it, read it, turn themselves into a team that can score. Brilliant, and that requires using the full set of tools at your disposal, Jay, where you can use your voice, you can talk. If you can't get the solo play, your teammate can. He's in position.
Speaking of solo plays, Monkey almost got one right there on the offensive half. Just close, but no cigar from BDS. Magnus moving in, not a lot of boost for him. Monkey Moon takes it out from the corner. Nolly will tee it off the sideboard. Monkey will take it over to the right, and Mark by 8's there alongside though. Sideboard, second touch. Klex will contest. Make sure Magnus doesn't get his shot in. Nolly though, back in. Magnus going to have to adjust against this. Being left to do all the work, it feels like in the front field. So takes it over towards Nolly. Clay is going to miss his touch. Not a lot of boost left for the BDS side. They are the ones being starved this time, it feels like.
Yeah, and I just noticed, Jay, the rocket pass banners on the side and the words, "How far will you go?" feels so fitting right now that only one of these two teams can make it to the end. BDS currently with the advantage. But what can Singularity do to turn the tide?
Well, Mark off to the right-hand side of the net, though. Challenge on towards Mark once again. Backboard, Monkey could not get his dunk. It's Nolly in position to take it away to the corner. Demo in from though, takes Klex out of the midfield, but the challenge from Mark does not allow Magnus' shot to amount to anything. Though will pinch it, and Klex will find a way out. Monkey still lurking in the back lines as Singularity apply the offensive. Couple of missed touches though. Magnus could not get the midfield control. Though, returns, flip. Doesn't go on target for this one. Magnus with another good challenge that is also pushed out of the way by BDS, and it feels like a lot of these shots are and setups are a bit inaccurate there from the Singularity side. Meanwhile, BDS getting many more accurate shots on that blue half. The defensive is what's holding them back though.
Well, you look at BDS, they're just keeping a lot better control. Though right now, look, just throwing himself at the ball. He's got no boost. He's going to have to allow that one below him to hand on over to Nolly, because they're thinking about the whole team synergy and the beats, their rhythm to keep these rotations going. But it does mean that they are struggling to get a confident grip of the ball and this game.
Nolly, flip, Mark out. Here comes Doe with a good challenge, but it's off wide. Thanks to ClayX's challenge of his own accord, so credit to him for keeping BDS in this 1-0 stance. And they're keeping their presence held here. Nolly with a challenge. This Monkey goes off the side, though, gonna control in, beat out one, not beat second, though. BDS able to sideswipe in and just get all these 50-50s as appropriate. Singularity have not been allowed to score 4 shots so far in this game compared to the 6 of BDS, which admittedly they've had 6 for about 2 minutes. So they haven't been able to get their own offensive sets up, but it has been enough to keep this single goal lead, and that can win you games here. That could win you match points in this context. As Mark goes up, goes for the shot. Magnus is able to defend that off the crossbar, and Singularity will just keep this at a single goal lead, but no signs of a counter-attack coming through.
No, and that's currently Singularity want to play a playstyle where they're going for 50-50s. They're bringing it on close. But their opponents, BDS, are not allowing for that. So Singularity's current strategy is just not working. They're not able to create an opportunity to get an opening. This is the best one they've had for a while with Magnus that far forward. Though is in a great position and can finish it.
And there we go, at long last. Singularity break the stalemate by forcing mistakes out from BDS and getting us back to evens at 1-1 on this board. 25 seconds left on the clock. We'll kick things off with Magnus getting over to the orange half. ClayX though, instantly trying to see if he can find a response here alongside Monkey off the backboard. Where's Mark? Gonna get beaten out by though. ClayX continuing pressure into this corner now. Those got no boost to work with, but the challenges should be good enough to get us to overtime for Singularity. Potentially might find their way out. Mark pressuring though, finds out Magnus in the midfield, pushing up. Here comes ClayX, the shot. Nolly will return to the backboard. Can he find his shot in? It bounces off the floor crease, in fact, as he puts it down permanently this time. We're in overtime.
It's going to be a very nervy one. I still think Singularity might be overthinking this game. BDS have had full control. They're just not ready to strike. Again, where they're wanting to play this safe, they're waiting for that one perfect moment. Nearly there for Magnus, but that follow through. Oh, no, feels stolen from him.
Monkey just barely getting back to keep it higher. The crossbar. The follow suit in the midfield has looked better for Singularity though. ClayX will finally find the breakaway. Pass from Nolly to Magnus, back to Nolly, but returned by BDS all the same. Coming in is ClayX. Magnus will find a clear back downfield off the backboard. Mark has got to take it away from this man. It's Nolly, loads of boosts left, but a good challenge again is going to throw that entire play and setup completely off kilter. ClayX wrapping around. Monkey with a boom downfield. Nolly on. High off Monkey Moon. Mark's going to block it in the midfield again. As though it gets challenging, but nothing else comes through for Singularity. Again, BDS going to keep applying this pressure and return to the blue half of the field. Try to look for that one goal to break the stalemate here. As Magnus is in, he tees it up. Nolly off the backboard for the 3-man play, but it goes way too far wide.
Singularity right now have got the start in place. That clearance downfield to Magnus was so much better. But unfortunately, the follow-through hits are not coming through. Right now, they're trying to turn lead into gold, and it's just not working, Jay.
They'll try their damnedest, though. Going out towards the orange half. It's Monkey intercepting from those shot, and Magnus will take away, though will be challenged again by ClayX as Lurk off this sideboard. Mark will tee it up and over the midfield. Magnus coming in with a dunk down shot, and it is denied again by Monkey Moon. And very, very careful stuff coming in from both sides. It is a back and forth slogfest, I feel like, more than anything else. Both Singularity and BDS is just pulling their punches a little bit, I feel like. The setups haven't always quite been there. The defensive holds its own. Could go a little bit further beyond, in my opinion.
well, just to take it, a lot of these big shots on both sides, straight on net. In what world are they going to beat the defender out? Stuff like that from Monkey Moon is more a chance. The follow-through needs to come here, but no one's got boost. Good stuff that those able to jump off the wall. But you see stuff like this from Nolly. How are you expecting to get that?
A game and a half of Rocket League being played here so far in game 2. Looks to continue to go onwards here. As Klex challenges Magnus, going to try to get it to the backboard, though, with that demo taken away by Monkey Moon. Here comes Nolly on target, again denied by the BDS midfield defense. And here comes Mark. The shot down directly on, though, can take it off, go for a shot of his own right off the backboard. Is pushed away by Monkey and Klex again on the double commit. Now it's BDS the ones making the double commit mistakes, not too dissimilar to their opponents in the last series. It goes off the corner, marked by 8, looking for a way out against Though. Good demo from Monkey as Though gets the save in. But Mark keeps it inside that half, and BDS have not found the confident offensive that kept the pressure up against Singularity in game 1. As Klex up against Nolly, teed up and over the net, no shot can be taken.
No, and both these two teams lock in horns right now. Stalemate. Unable to be broken. Monkey Moon has got the fake off. He needs to follow through, and there it is, marked by 8. And it all comes to just a glimmer of genius from Monkey Moon.
Ting off against Nolly, only man left, but I'm gonna almost feel like they bored Singularity to death in order to get that backline to lose its focus. Such slow gameplay, but it works better for BDS this time as they take game 2 in overtime at 2-1 on the board against Singularity. A bit of an interesting one to say the least here, Bacon, but BDS again on match point against teams that you probably wouldn't expect them to be up against.
I don't know here. Like, I look at BDS and look at Singularity and I go, pound for pound in a tournament like this, it can go either way. Now, we both thought BDS would be the better side purely because of that chemistry they've got with each other, didn't we? Where they've not made that change. That's the only factor that we were saying will win them, because you look at it today, that doesn't seem to come true because Magnus is top in the scoreboard. He seems to be the one able to get the most going for Singularity. For me, it just seems Singularity need to get a bit of gusto. They have got to get ambitious with their attacks because so far they're squeaking, they're not roaring.
Absolutely, like I think that's the right sort of that is the right sort of description for it. You know, squeaking, not roaring, not going big, not going massive, not going offensive. They're just very carefully tiptoeing around the field and not really looking to do much against the opposition side. So I wonder if that would change here in game 3 now the stakes have been raised, especially in the case of Singularity, because their spring series may come to a halt right here, right now. Though in off the kickoff, Mark can return to an open net, but fortunately that ball is not directly on target. Nolly will return to Though next. Monkey gonna find his way out with not a lot of boost. Magnus here off the sideboard, and Mark will carry it further off that sideboard of his own right. A flick against Nolly that will just be returned very quickly past Klex. Monkey Moon, last man left in the net, will be able to defend against it, but Though still with a shot, denied this time by Klex.
Yeah, a lot more energy coming out in this one. However, it's coming from BDS. It's Singularity that really need to step up. A double commit there with Nolly jumping on out of it. And Magnus will get a very important save. I do like that though, Jay. Right there from Though. And Nolly chasing up, it might be a little bit overzealous, a little bit too harsh on the attack. But it's a change that could find a reward.
They're overcooking their setups as well. That setup from Klex going to the left-hand side of the net. Very, very far out of position. Still goes off the backboard, tees it in. No second player to find the response, and they'll get their way out position here for Singularity. Mark over and out, beating out one. Gonna challenge on towards the back line. A boom back from Nolly that will go off the backboard, and no second chance for a touch. Though coming in, blocked by Klex. Monkey's gonna have to find his clear out. The demo in from Though. Might set up Magnus here off the backboard in towards Nolly next, and he gets a demo, but Mark just gets a touch in enough to keep it away from a goal. Magnus also out of boost, can't go far with this. And Monkey beating out Though. Klex trying to find his way out of position, and the challenges are still good from Singularity, but not on target for shots. The demo's coming in from everybody here on the Singularity side.
Yeah, Singularity when they don't really have a clue of what more to do, they do resort to demos. And it's not the worst idea, because you look as well, they're fairly safe, making sure one player is still back in defense, even though they're throwing these demos out. Generally, it's one player trying to fight for the ball, and then the second purely going for those demos. It's like a little mix-up on the ball chasing mentality, but it is improving.
Oh, finally!
We needed that.
We absolutely did need that, though. Coming in to set up Nolly, a demo in against Monkey Moon when he thought he was safe to find it off the right-hand side of the net. And Singularity will score one against BDS, score the opener against BDS here in Game 3. Now we need to see a response coming through. Mark going to leave it to Clay. As the ball goes up and over, Mark with a chance to redirect it into the corner. Here comes Monkey Moon with a shot. That one gets denied by a quick bump and challenge. Nolly finding his way outfield. ClayX into the midfield. We'll leave it for Monkey Moon in, though, up and over. Got beat on towards one. He's got perfect control, passive control. Nolly still comes in with a strike, and now Singularity have come alive.
They have just relit the embers of their passion, and you can see this link up here, brilliant, pulling out not only the defenders, but also teammates to jump on up, get it into the curvature of the wall to bounce them down perfectly in a prime position to pick up. Singularity are now working in unison.
Monkey falling back, 75 points to boost though, challenging. And Nolly up to beat one, only one to challenge. Still keeps it away from the BDS net. Sideboard bounce, here comes Nolly with a very severe lacquer boost. Can just push it into Monkey Moon and fire him to support. Though putting that one close to target. Return from Monkey, and Nolly gets back in time to stop that ball from entering the blue half net. The pressure needs to be continued here from BDS, and there's not going to find enough for it. Demo in against Monkey Moon. Nolly will find, though, in the midfield. There's a return shot off the backboard. Nolly coming in, but Monkey Moon can take it away to the right-hand side. So fortunate enough here for the BDS, their defense, but they need to turn that into good offense because they're still 2-0 behind. The return's not coming out. Mark takes that one up off the backboard directly in front of the net, but Nolly denies, keeps it going inside the box. Mark by 8, missing out against though.
I want to see BDS right now play with pace. That's a nice little bump idea, but again, where it wasn't communicated, no one's going to be able to chase up onto it. But the pace thing is just purely slowing it down. Draw out Singularity, because they're really charging on this, Jay. So get them to jump at the ball, maybe a fake or two, and then strike.
Magnus with a block. 100 boost picked up, 60 seconds, and Magnus just couldn't connect his... Monkey Moon, I should say, couldn't connect his overall strikes. Magnus there with the quick save against it. Mark by 8 redirecting this one's back down to Monkey Moon's shot path, and Nolly gets back to take it off the post, pinch it back to the orange half of the field, and disallow any opportunity for BDS to get us back in contention. Still time ticking, still 2 goals to find. Monkey getting it out to the midfield. ClayX can't find his way out. Mark will have to take it into the corner as the demos start coming in for BDS this time, but time is of the essence, and they realize it. ClayX will tee it up. Demos in, sideboard bounce, trying to set it up for Monkey Moon, but it allows Though to come in, take a quick pinch out. Here comes Nolly with control, beats it past one, slow ball, but ClayX will take it away. It's all time stalling though. 15 seconds, BDS running out of chances.
It is exactly that, run out the clock. You look at Singularity, they have done enough here in Game 3 to get them win. With 5 seconds left, Jay, I can say this is over. The ball can only get them 1 goal right now for BDS, and it won't even do that. Singularity start the crawl back for a win, and it is feeling like it's going to be hard work.
You definitely explain that in the right sort of language there, Bacon. A crawl for Singularity, because it's still a reverse sweep, and it kind of describes the pacing of this series, you know, because both teams have been very slow about their own approaches, very careful about it, because they realize this is their last chance, you know, and they've been through this very long and arduous bracket over the course of the day. It's been, you know, going for like, you know, 7-8 hours or so, something like that. Like, you know, it's been absolutely ridiculous, and you know, an effort and a half from both. So to play carefully, it makes sense to me. You know, again, last opportunity to make it into Spring Series. Do not mess this up now.
That is it. Get 2 goal lead and then hold on to that. You don't have to risk going for more. And Singularity have played that to a T in this game. But going forward, like, you know, as we move on into Game 4, I reckon BDS are going to really turn it up. You know, they've got the advantage in this. They're still a game up, so they can take that risk. If they can just make their opponents feel super uncomfortable, like Singularity naturally, where they're still trying to find their rotations together, it could be their downfall.
Oh, it is gonna be game 4 up on your screens. A desperate win for Singularity. BDS looking for their spot in Spring Series still. Nolly to though. Turns it onto the box. 2 players committing to that defense, and Monkey Moon will find his way out of net. Mark Baye gonna follow suit here. 3 players to beat on the right-hand side of the field. The ball goes into the center. There's a good shot, and no, can't save it. And BDS picking up the pace for once will get an opener.
And again, notice all 3 players clustered up in that corner. They did split afterwards, but that's an error. The lads of Singularity getting a little too clustered up, forgetting their rotations. And again, this is the fear we had, Jay. That's going to cost them the first goal. They need a quick response. And you can see Low is hunting for that.
Oh, Nolly trying to follow it up. There's Magnus with the final tap to the backboard. Nolly's got a bit of boost, can control this ball outside of the box at the very edge of it. And though, looking for his back shot, it won't happen for him. Magnus going to bounce it out, continue his control, try and set up Nolly again. There's 2 players on the defense to hold it, and Monkey is the man that finds his way out. Got Mark in the mid-center to receive. Will not be able to get the shot in. Nolly coming out, challenging Clayx. Those going to wrap back over as Mark Baye just leaves it out for Monkey Moon, finding his way into the blue side box this time. Just barely pushed off the backboard by Magnus. And now the pressure starts to ramp up. Here comes Mark with a high off the ceiling shot. Is going to be taken away by Though in the end, as the follow-up does not come through from Monkey or Clayx. Clayx gets his demo. Nolly bumps one, but is unable to find his way against the second.
Yeah, and BDS right now actively trying to hunt for each other, but they've got to stay so spaced out, Jay, to be able to handle Singularity. Monkey Moon wanted to get that bump, but just could not find Magnus.
Look at Mark passing towards Clayx next. No boost left in the tank for him. He tries to challenge the first of Though. Mark's going to make his way up to position and taken away by Though as he controls it. Nolly back up into the hands of Clayx directly. He jumps up and takes it away against Magnus as well. No boost, still going for the shot though, and Though is able to deny it. Putting up for Mark Baye once again. Monkey's going to leave this one open. Clayx back far enough to keep the pressure going for BDS, and it has looked like that majority pressure game that won them their first 2. Only a goal differential. Singularity trying to see if they can turn it around, but they're really struggling to break out this half at the moment.
I'm scared right now. BDS, with Monkey Moon, has just been throwing himself around this pitch. Not really much aim to it. You can see that hurtle down. He needed to keep that towards a dribble, an aerial dribble for himself. That's a nice though, finding the equalizer.
Did Mark Baye run out of boost here? I believe he should have been able to go up and get that save out here.
He thought Monkey had it.
Relying heavily on his teammate, and unfortunately he let him down in the defense. So Singularity back up at evens here. Clayx off the kickoff though. Backboard plays. And Nolly and Though are there to defend against it. Here comes Monkey Moon with a good shot, and it's just into Nolly's path so he can hold the defense and keep us at an even standing here. Backboard play inside the corner. Mark against Though. Though puts it into the box. Monkey will find his way outfield. And Magnus against Clayx next, but Singularity have their control denied by the BDS side.
Nice little link-ups there as well. Good ideas to pop back into the center. Nolly reading that quick enough. But BDS is starting to get a little bit creative here, Jay, and you love to see it.
Ooh, but not accurate enough to follow suit with that creativity. Demo in for Mark Baye, going to try to take Nolly out of play, and Monkey gets it past though! Okay, BDS have a lead again!
Just wow, the demo, the flip reset, just everything thrown into that goal, and BDS moved back into advantage. 1:48 left on the clock, and they have made a statement. They've woken up for this. Singularity, you've got to try harder.
And 1:42 the win in the series for BDS. But what's this? Nolly going to try beat out Monkey Moon. Magnus next up, but he gets 2 good challenges in. Nolly keeps it going though. As Singularity realise they're in danger, they realise they're on the ropes and try and pick up the pace of their own right. Magnus up to challenge Mark. Nolly still in the midfield, got plenty of boost. And goes towards that corner. Klex will try and deny it. Magnus in. Backboard once again. It's taken away by Monkey Moon. Klex on a wraparound rotation. Going to go for a decent shot to the backboard, but it's denied this time by Nolly. And no follow-ups coming in from BDS. They will keep the pressure applied. They still have that single goal lead. It's not a good enough cushion, but it would be enough to win the series.
1 minute remaining. It's come up on our screens, and of course the players as well. Tension riding high. Good save from though, but panic could set in any moment.
Time is of the essence for Singularity. Gotta fight hard to break this back over with the clears coming in from BDS though. It's not gonna be an easy battle. As the timer hits 30 seconds, that gong will sound, reminding Singularity of where they stand. Pop in from though, pushed out by Mark, and Magnus sets up Nolly for a great shot, denied by Klex this time as he comes outfield. Mark tries to follow it out. Magnus there with a demo, but Klex keeps it set up inside that box. Magnus needing to find though somewhere out into this corner. He'll pinch it. It's a very light pinch, and it goes back to Mark, over to Monkey. Dunk down on net. Nolly gets the save, but they need to find a follow-up clear. That ball's kept high by Mark by 8. He'll take it off the sideboard, pushed out by though, and Monkey Moon will kill it to the floor. So BDS will be your final team through the qualifiers. They'll be joining the rest of the best here in the Spring Series.
BDS today, Jay, have shown us 3 different play styles, haven't they, in these last 3 games, and it's scary to think what they can do. But I'm excited to see how they perform in the Spring Series, because they have just earned themselves the final spot.
To think that the go-home goal as well was like a double bump flip reset. Like you couldn't have got it better. BDS 2-1 up in that game and a 3-1 series overall. What a performance from these guys. And I think they well earned it, you know. Singularity are not an easy team to beat. They kind of outpaced them, outfought them, did as much as they could to try and take the fight back to their side. And overall, they did amazing. They did absolutely amazing. We'll bring Craftman back and another amazing individual as well. Certainly watching that one with tentative eyes. Wow, it was a slow one to start. Let's not deny that, but it did pick up and it did get real good towards the end.
It really did, and I think Bacon summed it up well. They played. We saw them play 3 series, 3 different ways. So the motto for BDS probably going forward is improvise, adapt, overcome. They took all challenges thrown at them and throwing Singularity out of the competition like that was no mean feat. I was looking in chat as well, and a lot of people were saying that Singularity were really missing God's Millet. I don't think that. I think Magnus is working well in this team. Obviously, just not good enough to see them off against BDS. But I think going forward, going into RLCS next season, Magnus is going to be a staple of that Singularity team.
When I look at that series, I'm not going to question Magnus, their craftman, because it felt like both teams were in a little bit of a funk. You see that where both teams are sort of like, where they just counter each other out, it sort of turns into a little bit of a dull game, doesn't it? Like we saw in the first 2 series. And that's not on Magnus at all. He's going to go away, of course. Singularity have got tons of time now to work on their synergy together. And I hope they stick with Magnus, purely because I want to see what is capable of this side.
Yeah, I think he's capable. He is very much capable of a lot. I mean, he didn't have the best season with TSM, but going forward, he's going to be a key stage of that Singularity offense. As for BDS, now going into the Spring Series, Jay, going up against the big boys, this is the first time that we're going to get to see them against their RLCS competition in Vitality, Dig, Mouse, and Barca, and of course Endpoint as well from the RLCS. How do you think their run this weekend is going to go?
I think there's potential in this side. I mean, the first team they're drawn up against Renault Vitality, so that's already not a good start.
It's a tough
so you know,
to say the least.
but here's the thing, right? It's always going to be an opportunity to preview things more than anything else, because you're always looking at these teams with potential, and for them, obviously, this will be a great little research sort of tournament for them to try and see what they can build up going into the championship series. I mean, that's the way that I approach the game. Whether or not they approach the game will be a different prospect, but if they are looking at it like that, that might be their best thing for the long term more than anything else. So maybe this weekend might be a bit surprising for me. I think it'll be surprising for BDS, depending on how well they want to just perform in their own right. I think that they'll have a good couple of games. Maybe they might not make it all the way through the bracket. I think they might end up potentially like top 6 at the worst case scenario, or maybe best case scenario actually. Let's swap those roles around because I feel like the competition in the actual main tournament is going to be so tough to hold up against. But again, for BDS, it's a preview for what we've coming up next season.
Definitely, and of course, qualifying today to get themselves into the main event of Spring Series has bagged them 13 grand guaranteed. At least they can earn up to $23,000 if they are to go home and take home that top prize. But just to wrap us up, Bacon, give us your sum up of the day, Bacon, and what you're looking forward to this weekend.
What I'm looking forward to this weekend is, your bubble teams. Let's just say the Clappers. For me, they were the biggest surprise, and absolutely love to see them there. And how they're going to do up against some of these bigger teams. Because we're seeing, it's always the statement, right? EU has depth for days. And here we're seeing that in the bubble teams coming on through. These RLRS teams that are really pushing the limit up against the RLCS. And there is no longer like a split cut between the RLCS and the RLRS anymore. Like, that line is so thin if there ever is a line. And you'd love to see it. BDS, of course, just promoting through, but then you've got the Canyons, the XRCD Espanol squad qualifying through, and then Endpoint as well. I think we've got one of the best tournaments coming up this weekend.
Yeah, very excited to watch that this week on the main Rocket League Twitch channel. And you talk about Europe having depth. I mean, it's exemplified through the fact that of the 4 teams that we've got through, some that we didn't really expect. We expected Oxygen to be here. We maybe expected Balochi to be here. They're not here. They're out of the tournament. So we've got 4 teams, up-and-coming teams, in the Clappers, Endpoint, Canyons, and BDS. Congratulations to them. They bagged themselves a spot in the EU Spring Series this weekend. They'll be taking on Vitality, Dignitas, Mouse Sports, and Barca. So good luck, boys, is all I can say. But for that, we'll round that out. We'll finish it there. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a long broadcast. I think almost just over 6 hours we've been on the air. So we thank you for watching through. Thank you to Jay, thank you to Bacon, thank you to Iroleak and Jar Jam, of course, and our 2 broadcasters for the day, Tractor Manager, who's on this broadcast, and Kizza from a little bit earlier on. But from all of us here at Rocket Kingdom TV, we wish you well. Stay safe, my friends. We'll see you next time.